sales tax or parts. There's some businesses, I guess, you could run by pencil and paper, but my God, there's still no purpose in it because you're just missing everything.
But even just not knowing numbers.
You told me you can email everybody right now. Bam, right?
Oh, yeah.
We have a special. Bam.
Yeah. Yeah. But even just tracking your numbers, car counts, average ticket, you know, profit, is your profit margin where you want it? I mean, how do you...
If Republican senators are unable to pass what they are working on...
Because my service riders are paid on commission, and they're paid on commission based on gross profit, car counts. So how do they do their job if they don't know what they're selling?
They were up crazy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're live.
The House will pass 2 new immigration measures. Tom Roberts has more on that.
In a statement, Trump said case law and the no...
He was reading the best hot dogs when we were doing our crossover, and he's reading this, you know, one sold by, what's that, what's that freaking yuppie grocery store, man?
Oh, Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
I heard that when I pulled up.
Vegan, blah, 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 blah.
$8 a 4-pack or something, yeah.
I said, they're all full of crap. The best dog out there, Valero. He goes, what's Valero? He had no idea. I said, it's a gas station, 2 for $2.49.
I said, I like those skinless hot dogs that got a crunch to them.
The longer they sit on the roller, the better. But there is a point of no return.
I mean, so they're almost like jerky.
Yeah, you can tell when they shrivel up. Then you stay away.
They stop.
Oh my gosh. I was getting one at the Valero down here a couple days ago, and I go in, and the sausages, you seen the roller sausages from this morning, were all bad looking. And the one lady comes over and goes, oh, I got to get rid of these. So she looks at the other woman behind the thing, goes, you want one of these? And I'm thinking, oh my God, they must eat all this old stuff all the time.
They do.
But she said, no, I do not want one.
Not that hungry.
For Highland Ranch in the Promenade Shopping Center at University and
You're hungry.
Check us out at
fitnessgallery.com.
Fitness Gallery, getting Colorado in shape since 1997.
There's a reason why insurance companies want to settle quickly with you after a car accident. Don't make that mistake. I'm John Fuller with Fuller Injury Law. Contact me for a free case evaluation at personal...
Yeah, poor Mark, he sounded bad, man.
303-597...
Well, that's just an ongoing thing with his wife, isn't it? I mean, just...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I know. Trust me. It's sad, though.
Tickets are going fast, so
Health issue?
Yeah.
before they disappear.
Get ready for the Dream Machine giveaway. Speed away in a 2017 Camaro and Lady Luck Blackhawk Sunday, July 2nd at 8 p.m. Or a 2017 Corvette at Isle Casino Hotel Blackhawk Monday, July 3rd at 9 p.m. Receive 1 free entry daily and earn more with play. Win a 2017 Camaro or Corvette during the Lady Luck...
That was funny with Brian 2 weeks ago. He didn't know the things were live on the commercial.
Oh, what was he doing?
I was just talking about a few personal things with Tom back and forth. And
Oh, was he?
These are mine. And he's like,
That's funny. I know, people, we try to remind,
and
but
I forget though sometimes too. Yeah.
you forget, we do. We ended up, I'm not going to tell the story again because I'm like, we ended up, Tom and I, in the principal's office.
Yeah.
So we were discussing someone else in the building.
Or when Tom brought up about, what's her name, the comedian.
Oh my God,
Oh,
the
that
funniest,
was
I don't mind saying this now, so we were talking about Joan Rivers, and he goes, God, she is so crude and rude. He goes, I saw her once, and she came out on the stage, and it was back when Michael Jackson was going through those trials. And she goes, well, I don't know what they're complaining about. If it was my kid, I'd say, hey kid, it'll only hurt for a few minutes, just bend over, then after that it's all Disneyland. So that's what Joan Rivers is saying in the joke. So he turns it on. Facebook's weird. It'll say we're live. It might be 20 seconds one day after it says it, before it's just bizarre. So that one, Tom calls me at 9 o'clock at night in a panic mode. Going, you got to take that off. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, go and listen to it. So I launch it. The very first thing you hear is Tom going, just bend over. It's going to hurt for a little bit. No context whatsoever. I mean, zero context.
And then it's Disneyland.
And then it's Disneyland. And it sounded like he was like talking to his own kid or his wife. Then I told him, just bend over. Don't worry about it. It's only going to hurt for a few minutes. And then after that, it's Disneyland. No context whatsoever. Oh my God, that was so funny. He had me laughing that night for like 20 minutes, man. Joan Rivers was something or other, though.
Oh, she was.
Kathy Griffin tries to be like that.
Not even close. Yeah.
Who is the other one that? Who's the older guy though? He's really funny. He doesn't get vulgar like that, but he would give everybody the business, if you will. Really old comedian. He's still Rickles.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I saw some stuff he was doing when he was younger.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can.
Welcome to the show. My name's Mark Major, and as you know, this is the only show of its kind. We solve problems, we answer questions. What else do we do? Well, we get directly involved. In fact, Deputy Dan and myself were out on a case we're going to talk about. We'll give you some updates on that. But unlike any other show out there, we get directly involved to help you. If you've been ripped off, you've been taken advantage of, we want to hear from you, and we want to help you. You know, listen to this number. Over $100 million, Tom Martino, in this show has recouped. Over a 38-plus period, but listen, over $100 million, and I would argue any day it's way more than that because I don't know how many people listening. Those are cases we were directly involved in. I don't know how many people listen to this and go, oh my goodness. In fact, we had one here's a perfect example. Deputy Dan, we had a caller yesterday. We were going after... He was a bad guy. I don't remember who it was, but someone called and said, I was just going to use him until I heard about him on the show. We have no idea what we saved that person. Do you recall which one that was?
Vincent Torres.
Another Vincent Torres. I-25.
I-25 roofing or roofers.
In restoration. This guy, in my opinion, if you see him, you run like hell. You simply run like hell. He is not a good guy. He actually, not only did he do probably the worst job I have ever seen on a roof. The worst job. It was incredible. At one point, he had to fix some siding. Listen to this. By the way, I've got great people in studio.
And this is all true.
Oh, we saw it for ourselves. All true. Kevin, listen to this. Ron, listen to this. They had hail damage, insurance claim. Okay? This guy actually took, only one side had hail damage for the siding. He actually took siding from the back of the house under the eave where she wouldn't see it and repaired the siding on the side of the house with their own siding. You can't make this stuff up. The roof had holes in it. Last night it rained. I guarantee everything in that house is wet. That's how bad of a job this was. That's how bad. In fact, put up Vincent Torres's information. Mr. Torres, I would love for you to come on. Didn't we contact him? Will he call us back? Where have we left it with Mr. Torres?
Well, for me, I texted him telling him we were talking about him and he needed to give us a call so we could get this sorted out. He never texted me back.
Deputy Dan, let's try to call this guy again. Let's get him on. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a whole nother side to the story, and I really doubt that. But let's try to reach out to Mr. Torres again. And if someone could put his phone number up, I want people to avoid it if it happens to pop up. He's got these little signs around, too, I-25, roofing and restoration. You got to stay away from this guy. He's a real bad guy. We had another one that changed their phone number because of us last week, which is not good because now we don't know what the new phone number is. Dan, what was his name? He took that lady for $34,000. Listen to this one.
This is Eric Laxon.
Eric Laxon, this joker. You ready for this? He took her Home Depot card. She agreed to let him use it, so there's no fraud there. But he bought, ready? $18,000 worth of stuff. Then he'd return it without a receipt and pocket the money. He even bought candy bars and food on her dime. These are supposed to be tile and bathroom fixtures and other stuff. He's buying candy bars. He bought enough tools to basically, build a house. And he kept all the tools. And the ones he didn't keep, he returned. And he took $26,000 from her. We went over there. Man, there wasn't even 10 grand worth of work done or supplies that were left at her house that he didn't return. Last week was crazy. We are dealing, I got to tell you right now, there's something going on out there. And I'll tell you what it is. Because Colorado right now is booming. It really is. It's hard to find a nice house at a decent price. It's hard to find a contractor. So even the good contractors are hiring subs that are coming from out of state, and they suck. You've got to watch who you deal with. If you go to Craigslist, you might as well just, you know what? You might as well just forget about it. You're probably going to get ripped off. And I got to tell you,
You just use a referral list. I can't put it any other way. Go to referrallist.com. The one thing with our members is this. If there is an issue, we get to step in. They sign our code of ethics. We step in. We tell them what to do. It's that simple. Speaking of referral list members, in studio, it's car day, by the way. Any car questions? And Tawny and Art, I promise I'll get to you. I promise. I got to relax a little bit. I start thinking of Vincent Torres and this other guy. I get all rowdy. I get so upset at these people. They're both elderly women. The one was even worse. The one was, Dan, my goodness, she was a vet. She's...
Yeah, 67 years old, 22-year
fought for the country. Vet. Yeah, 22-year-old Air Force vet. God, it's crazy. She got taken for so much money. The other one, we actually have an attorney getting involved in because that joker turned around and countersued her because she sued him in small claims court. He hired some attorney to get the judge with the counterclaim to kick it up to district court, which means now she needs an attorney, so we're literally getting her an attorney to answer this. And I know he's bluffing. He's probably done this to people 100 times. Then he ends up with a judgment against them. But if you saw this work, it's I don't even know why. He probably won't show up for court. He's got to be so embarrassed by the pictures. And then the homeless guy he was renting the place out to. That's right, this was a rental unit, so the woman was out, and he was renting out this house he did this horrible work on.
He was renting her place?
He was renting her place while she was out of town to homeless people he hired to do her roof and siding.
She was in Mexico for a month, so he rented...
Wow.
You can't make it up. It should be one of those after-school specials.
It's a full-service contractor, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll even rent your house out while you're gone. I mean, this guy does it all. Wow. It's incredible. Now, listen, in studio, Kevin Calkins, Sheridan Auto Tech, you guys got to be going crazy with air conditioning stuff.
Oh, yeah, everything. We're very, very busy right now.
You get in these cars, I got to tell you, okay, so I love my car. And I've got a button I hit, and it's the first car I ever had that hit it, and the air conditioner blows on my butt. Comes right up through the seats, and I cool off.
Those are cool.
Oh, it's so cool. And somehow it works very quickly. You get in on a hot day, it works very quickly. But, man, I got to tell you, there's still about 40, 50 seconds, and everybody knows what it is. It is unbearable in a car. Someone's got to come up with something. I wonder if the Teslas, the electric cars, does the climate control work even when it's off?
Well, that's that auto start. You start it up a minute before you get there and the AC's running.
Yeah, I got that. I never thought of that. I'd feel I'm too cheap. I'm a penny pincher, man. I'm burning gas for 30 seconds of comfort. Ron Langford's with us today with Master Drive. Ron's got an interesting story, and I say that. It's kind of a very sad story, but you lost your daughter, Ron, years and years ago. I want to say Dory?
That is correct, yes.
So she got hit by a drunk driver.
She was a teenager.
Yes.
T-boned by a 19-year-old guy, and he was way over the quote-unquote legal limit.
Horrible.
And came through her door at something more than 60 miles an hour. So since that time, we started really the whole focus on how do you prepare a teenager to become a skillful driver rather than the typical DE program.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I want to talk about something real quick though. So Ron, prior to losing your daughter, you taught people how to, well, and you still do, but I'm saying your entire life, am I correct or not? Your entire life you've been teaching people how to be race car drivers for the most part.
Well, for about 40 years I've been a race car coach.
A race car coach.
Rather than just instructor, the physiology of it, but also the psychology of it.
Yeah, I'm sure getting into a race car and doing 200 miles an hour around is a whole different ballgame than anything most people will ever experience.
It is something that is, and I've raced nationally, sports cars.
So then you lose your daughter, and then you want to focus on you started Master Drive.
Yes.
And Master Drive, both my kids went to it, as you know. And just like he said, the funny part is, it's defensive driving. When I went, I'll date myself. I got my license, or at least my permit in Jersey, and it was through the school system. And all they taught us was stop sign, stop, left, right, this. They didn't... It wasn't stuff like, look out for the other guy. It wasn't stuff like, okay, now's the green light, you can go. Well, there's another whole side to that. Watch out for the idiots that don't realize they have a red light. So the defensive part of it's crazy. I just watched my daughter graduate from she's 15, not long ago, like a month ago. And the interesting part was, because Suzanne went when Miles graduated, so I didn't see this part of it before. So she brought me around your track out there numerous times, and they'll move cones and they'll have lights come on, which like simulate a truck stopping or getting in front of you or cutting you off, and it's really crazy. They do emphasize on the defensive driving. I know I got to take a break. I'm going to take it right now. Listen, I will tell you guys when someone drops off, but I promise we'll get right to the phones. Tawny, Art, Tabitha, Jim, everybody hold tight. We'll be back after these messages.
Whew. Mark, something might be interesting.
Car versus a light rail, big delay there. The D line
you'd be
pardon me, Dan, Mark, I sent the fencing pictures to you guys. The subject might be for a different line when she was on the other day and had to hang up, but it's for fencing.
Put Frank Duran's number up and put
920.
who's Century RV and put both their numbers up. I'm going to get the commercials done, but I'm not going to pull up the scripts and log in.
Can you send me the picture off your phone, I-25, to my email?
The sign?
Yeah, the sign, and then I'll put that up.
That guy was so. When she's telling this week, at some point we're going, can this be real? Was he really renting this place out while she was gone?
Now, to be fair there, he had asked to put his tools in the basement.
What's that got to do with renting?
Well, I talked to the guy, his last name was Tools.
That was a bad joke.
That was a really bad joke, Dan. Not good. Hey, so I'm going to need you to cut a promo.
Okay.
We're going to do it during the show, like during a commercial break.
Well, Tom might be in.
Well, I'm going to have you do it.
Okay, whatever.
For now, if he comes in, cool.
He's got to leave.
I got to leave immediately after the show, and since I know it takes you 32 takes.
Sure. No, I type it up now.
And you'll have to just do one, hey, we'll be back on Wednesday, blah, 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 blah. So.
Oh, in the best ofs I sent you, did you get them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, make sure you put in there you're listening to the best of somewhere.
I don't have anything to do that.
Okay. We got to start doing that. Because
you used to do it.
I do it sometimes, but I haven't been doing it lately.
Can't you input a little commercial?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't have anything.
He's saying he doesn't.
I don't have any clips.
Oh, how about if I do one real quick?
It's already loaded.
I'm
on top of stuff.
I'm on top of stuff.
That's why it's already loaded.
You're on top of stuff?
Yeah. So if you want to read enough, we'll start working on your promo next break.
Why do contractors have kind of this freedom to do this without, because the Colorado Automotive Repair Act, I mean, we do something like this?
They have the Contractors Trust Act, too.
You need
it's just as hard in automotive, though. If you didn't do the estimates right or something, and they really wanted to make you live up to what that says, they still got to sue you, they still got to do everything, hire an attorney, all over whatever your average ticket is. It just never happens.
Can you lien a vehicle if someone doesn't pay you?
Yeah. Okay.
If they have
possession. The possession of it is, the possession is the lien.
I used to, and I've told you guys this before, I literally had a tow truck driver. I'd hop in, and we'd go find the car and take it. And, whether we should have or not, I never worried about. All I wanted was possession. And then the funny part was, regardless of how much they kicked and screamed and everything else after I had their car, guess what? I get paid very quickly, almost every time. Yeah. And then if they had a lien on it, which most people do, then what happens is it goes long enough, guess who pays me? The lien holder, the credit union or the bank.
I call them in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But you see, you got to take it to state patrol first now before you can find out who the lien holder is. Or before you go to motor vehicle for $2. But now you got to get an appointment with state patrol, get it inspected first, then you can file for.
Do you do anything before you snag it, or you just grab it?
I tried very hard not to get in that position.
Yeah.
I had one at one of my shops. We ended up calling the police. They actually contacted the guy.
I had one.
In his best interest if he wouldn't pay his bill.
I had one that it was in their driveway, and they came out arguing that I couldn't take it from their driveway, and my guy just kept loading it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, all they should have done was get in the car and put it in their garage. But he just sat there and watched us take it in his own driveway. If he called the cops would have told us to bug off.
Yeah.
But this rough with insurance, and that's the thing about it. They get paid because they got insurance. That's
Why is
what's
insurance paying
different from
prior
car.
to getting inspection done?
Why are they paying?
Yeah.
Because they ask for it. And these people who don't understand anything get that insurance check and just hand it over to them.
You know, she got lucky at the end, though. Please put those 2 phone numbers up for me, Frank Duran and Century. Just put them up like under Vincent's.
What the whole paying in advance?
Oh, you're right.
All right, 303-713-8255.
I'm going to talk about someone I love and I use. It's Frank Duran, the real estate man. I got to tell you, this guy saved Suzanne and I so much money on the house we bought. God, it's been almost a year. We've been out there almost over a year, babe. It's crazy. But I got to tell you, Frank Duran saved us $40,000 with his negotiating. He's the only realtor I know that basically has a degree. I don't even know how you put it. He has a degree. I don't want to say it's in mediation or arbitration, but this guy can walk in and do things I've never seen before. I've never seen anybody cut deals like this. And he sold our other house and had offers well above what we were asking. And he's just an incredible man. I'd like to thank Mr. Duran. Thank you, Frank. And you can reach him and use him as well at 303-920-1622, 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, the real estate man. All right, let's get right to the phones. Tawny's been holding a while. Tawny, what's going on?
Hi, I purchased a vehicle from Sterling Auto in Franktown on June 2nd, and I put $13,000 down on it, and I'm a single mom, so that took me a long time to save up that kind of money.
I can appreciate that, but hold on, Sterling Auto, aren't they mostly trucks? I think I pass that place every day.
Yeah, they're trucks.
Okay, mostly. So you bought, how much did you put down again?
$13,000.
And how much was the vehicle?
$18,500.
Well, good for you. I mean, really, most people don't put nearly that much down. So what's the problem, Tawny?
So I drove it off the lot because they told me there was like 3 other people that were waiting they really wanted the vehicle that I got, and so I felt kind of pressured, like, okay, I better get it now,
okay,
or it will be gone. So I drove it off the lot, and it ended up having all kinds of problems within 5 hours of having it, so I took it back the very next day. And
when did this all happen?
June 2nd, I purchased the vehicle. June 3rd, I returned the vehicle.
So this just happened?
Yes.
So you brought it back the next day, and I'm sorry, what was the problems the vehicle was having the next day?
The StabiliTrak light kept coming on, so my truck was jerking like crazy, and I have a 6-year-old son, and I don't find that to be very safe.
Okay, so keep going. So what happened? You brought it back. Did they fix it? Did they look at it? Did they say, too bad, so sad? What happened?
I don't think the vehicle was even inspected before I even purchased it, because they drove it down from Sterling, Colorado the same day that I looked at it and bought it.
Yeah, but let's get back to what is the issue, Tawny. Did they take it back and refund you? Were they going to fix it?
No.
What?
I tried, so the rack and pinion needed to be done, the upper and lower control arms needed to be done, the struts and shocks needed to be done.
How many miles are on this thing?
115,000.
And what was it?
And Chevy 2007, a Chevy Silverado. And so I took it back the next day, and then the dealer that I was working with, his name's Alan Wallace, he told me that I would have to pay for half of the parts to get it fixed. And
this was, so you're telling me the very next day, though. You realize you did buy this as is. I mean, contractually, my guess is, I haven't seen your paperwork, but you did buy it as is. You should have it inspected. How come you didn't have anybody inspect it?
Well, I just didn't know any better.
Okay, well, listen, now you do, right? So next time you buy a vehicle and you give someone $13,000, you're going to have it checked out, aren't you?
Yes.
And everybody listening, the same reason. So don't say, oh, you're being too hard on her. The reason I say that is, listen to what's happening here. The very next day, she needs all this. So they said they would repair the rack and pinion, the struts, the shocks, whatever was going on with that light, the stabilizer track. What is that, Kevin?
Yeah, it's just in the traction control and everything else.
Okay. Yeah. So they said they would fix it. What was half? How much would half have been?
$432, but they were only going to fix the rack and pinion, the upper control arms, the tie rods, and the ball joints.
Well, I got to say that probably is less than half. I mean, really, if they were going to fix all that for $432, I mean, Kevin,
Yeah,
that sounds remarkable, honestly.
That's a pretty good deal.
That might be just the cost of the parts.
Less than the cost.
Less than the cost of the parts. So anyhow, what did you decide? Did you pay it? Where are we at now?
I said, yes, I will. I guess I don't have a choice, you know. I mean, I need a truck that's reliable. Me and my son are driving out 1,000 miles out to Missouri and back.
So what happened?
So then he called me. I had the truck for like less than 4 days within 3 weeks.
So they hold on. So they fixed it the next day. You got it back, I assume, within a few days.
I got it back within like a week.
Okay, then what happened? So you got it back, and I assume something else happened. What happened?
So he told me eventually, he's like, you don't have to pay for all the parts. And then he's like, can your boyfriend just fix your truck? And
so wait a minute. Did they fix all that stuff for $432 or not?
They fixed the rack and pinion, the upper.
So what else needs to be fixed, Tawny?
There's a whole list.
Yeah, but when you say a whole list, who gave you this whole list? Did they give you the whole list?
No. So then they have their own mechanic on the lot.
Yes.
And he actually sent me to a different mechanic, Service Street in Parker.
Yes.
And
then they looked at it, and they gave you a list, right?
Yeah, they gave me a whole list, and then I got the truck back from them after they looked at it, and
yeah.
So I went and started driving it again.
Okay, Tawny, I'm sorry. Listen. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want just an answer, okay? Give me the biggest thing wrong with that truck right now. What is the biggest thing it needs?
Well, I don't have the list in front of me, but basically I ended up getting warranty because they wouldn't return the truck. They wouldn't take the truck back. And so that was almost $2,000 more to get the warranty, and they told me everything that needs to be done on it would be covered. So I got what was inspected, and all
nothing's covered?
Nothing's covered.
So you bought the $2,000 warranty?
Yeah, and nothing.
Did you buy it, by the way, with the vehicle, or did you buy it after all this started happening?
They had me buy it after, and
you know what? Hold on a second. Is crazy in all the bad decisions she made that there's still a big issue here. I mean, legally, from a legal stance, I know they didn't do anything wrong, but honestly, she puts $13,000 down. Apparently, they got this truck from somewhere else. It needs, you know, the thing's jerking around because of this StabiliTrak. It needs a rack and pinion. It needs strut shocks. The very next day, in other words, it left a lot needing this stuff. They do it. Then they sell her a warranty when she comes back because they don't want to fix this stuff. And then the warranty doesn't cover anything, and we all know that happens all the time anyhow. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Maybe there's another side. I'll call them.
Call these guys. I pass them every single day. You know, I hate to have to start blowing my horn every time I blow by them to remind them that I get to see their faces every day. I mean, I'm hoping they're a good company. I've never heard it. Have we had complaints about them?
Never.
As for Alan Wallace, I got to tell you, if this is true, once again, they did nothing wrong. But in my opinion, this is horrible. You know, they have no morals over there. How do you do this? And I don't care if she's a single woman or a guy or whatever. That part, it doesn't even faze me. I understand she's got her issues, so does everybody. But if everything she's saying is correct, and then after the fact they sell her a $2,000 warranty and tell her to bring it somewhere else and it's going to cover all the problems that they knew were existing, well, guess what? Guess what? Aftermarket warranties, and most warranties don't cover what, Kevin?
Pre-existing condition.
And that's as pre-existing as it gets.
Yeah.
They acknowledged it. Are they coming on? Let's see if we can't get these guys. We got to see. You know, I'll tell you a good dealership, though. I'm going to tell you a good one. If you're looking for an RV, Century RV, they got fifth wheels. They've got campers. They've got pop-ups. They've got anything you want down there. They've got new. They've got used. If you want to get out camping with the family, it's always fun. When our kids were younger, Suzanne and I did it all the time. We had a fifth wheel. We drive around everywhere. It really is a lot of fun. So if you're looking to trade up or maybe trade down, or if you're looking for something new, Century RV, they've got a massive, massive inventory. Give them a call. Check them out, 303-453-1111, 303-453-1111.
I went out to the Art of Granite, and I met Mitch. Came to America with $300 in his pocket.
They sell her for another $2,000 a warranty, and then she finds out the warranty's useless. They're assholes.
Well,
excuse my French, if they really did that, they're assholes.
You know what the warranty costs them about $700-800.
Yeah, it's all profit. Well, all they did was bend her over. Oh, you're having problems with the car you bought 3 days ago? Here, bend over for me.
Yeah.
I hope they're full of shit because I literally pass that place every day.
Beautiful with artistic edges, backdrops, and they also do
God, what
other stones like marble.
I mean, honest to God. I mean, Ron, what do you think?
Or artificial, or what they call.
It's kind of a hard sell, though. I mean, we got 3 other people interested in this. If you don't want it,
it's a real hard sell. Sign here.
Yes.
But once again, then telling her that the warranty is going to take care of any problems she has on the piece of crap they sold her.
All of the steps are out of integrity. Every.
Yeah, what's it need to say?
Take your mic out of program.
There.
Now turn it on.
Go. What is it? What is it for? We're going to be back Wednesday? Okay, ready? Guys, keep it down. Hey, it's Mark Major with the Tom Martino Show. We're going to be back after the holiday. I can't wait to see everybody, and we're going to be going after the bad guys right here Wednesday. Coming up tomorrow on the next Troubleshooter Show, join Tom and I as we go after the bad guys and solve your problems and answer your questions. There was no takes. I nailed them both each time.
Amazing.
Oh, my wife's in there. I was going to say that's what your wife said. But my wife's in there, so I can't go there.
Did they hear you?
Of course
he did. I still had it on in addition. He heard every damn thing I said.
Yeah, I had it on it. I have two in here, so. Complete my back program.
Seminars about
Got it.
By Stem Cell Institute. They have a number of affiliated clinics around the country, and they just opened
I just don't know how many times you got to say it, though. Get cars checked out. You're going to spend 20 grand on something? Drop a buck. Or
what you put $13,000 down on a $20,000 truck?
$18,000 truck.
It's not a bad price on it, depending upon which Silverado it
Well, the
was.
price is the price. I mean, who cares about the price? But I mean,
All the stuff wrong.
Spend money and get it checked.
I hear $2 grand.
It's $99 in most cases.
Yeah.
$2 grand for the.
And don't buy these warranties.
Yeah, she could have paid for the getting it all fixed there.
Get ready for the Dream Machine giveaway.
Like I say, those warranties are.
17 Camaro and Lady Luck Blackhawk, Sunday, July 2nd at 8 p.m.
Oh my God! I hope Sterling. Franktown's got all of like 5 businesses in it, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So I really hope they're not jerks. And it's mostly all trucks.
Yeah.
Stuff irritates me. I got a kudos for Master Drive. I'll read here in a minute.
Severe storm season is here, and that's why you need to call Golden Spike Roofing. If you think you have damage, call Golden Spike at 303-942-1386 for a thorough and free inspection. For roofing done right to the last nail, call Golden Spike Roofing.
Call Golden Spike Roofing when your roof needs a fix.
I hate this jingle, but I know it.
It's one of those that sticks with you.
The one that kills me too is Cars for Kids. Oh my God, that thing drives me nuts. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
I even know the harmony that.
I know, man. It kills me. I can't stand it. And I know what they do, and it drives me crazy.
Yep.
The kids get like a nickel. So I mean, I don't even like the whole thing.
Well, also the commercials that stick with you, though. Remember back east, Carvel?
Carvel ice cream, some of the best ice cream in the planet.
Yeah, but was it Tom Carvel used to do his own commercials?
God, if I heard one, I guarantee
He's
you.
got this whole raspy kind of voice and just a rough old guy. And
they have what's called, most people don't know this, Carvel has what's called, I think they call it the Platinum Card. And they give it to people. For example, they gave Howard Stern one. They might give an ex-president one, whether or not they use it. But it's carte blanche on any Carvel product you want anytime, any place.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I mean, you're giving it to people that are never going to go there.
Exactly.
You might as well give me one because there's not one anywhere around here.
Around here, yeah. It was soft serve ice cream back on the East Coast.
We're on the East Coast.
New York, New Jersey.
I was in Pennsylvania. Everywhere around Philly.
I remember that. I went to school in Pennsylvania. I remember the name, but I can't remember.
All right, I think Suzanne is talking to Sterling Auto out in Franktown. Did you talk to him? What's going on out there?
So here's the thing, Mark.
Yes, ma'am.
So when she first bought the vehicle, she brought it back the next day, and even though the ball joints didn't have to be replaced, they went ahead and did it.
How nice of them.
And then there were some intermittent problems that once they did some research, they figured out it was the cam position sensors, so they replaced those. And now what he is saying is, look, she hasn't even, I thought everything was fine. I haven't heard from her, and she hasn't been telling us there's any issues. If she would just call us.
Tawny, do they know there's other problems now?
Yes, that's a lie. He actually took me to pick up my truck at Service Street in Parker, and the lady that runs the place down there went over the whole list right in front of him and said, this isn't covered,
and
this isn't covered, this is...
Alan.
So does Alan admit this?
I didn't know that part, and as of now, he says, I haven't heard from her. I thought everything was fine.
Okay,
he also
let's do this.
Wait,
That's
Mark.
a lie.
Wait, hang on, Tawny. He also indicated that he thinks the bigger problem might be, and this is an indication, what I took from the conversation, the bigger problem is your boyfriend's a mechanic, was pissed that you went and bought the vehicle without him anyway, and now you might be trying to get out of the vehicle.
No,
but he said to just call him, and if there's something not covered from the warranty, he'll make sure it gets covered or help you out.
Well, that's, I mean, okay, I don't have a problem with that if that's true. I don't understand if he wait a second, Tawny. Suzanne, the part I don't understand is he's saying he didn't know anything, but yet he drove her down there and talked to the guy when they picked it up. How was that possible?
No, all he's saying is, as of now, he thought everything was settled, and she's worrying about stuff that may go wrong,
do me a
not
favor.
Stuff that's wrong right now, stuff that might go wrong.
Tawny, do me a favor. Call up right now. Call up and talk to him right now, and then call us back. See if they're going to handle it or not. Tell them the list. Tell them whatever. Jog their memory. See if they're going to do it. I can help you fight to get this stuff done, but once again, they didn't do anything illegal here. I might have problems with it, and I do if everything you're saying is correct. And how about them selling this warranty, Suzanne, after she bought it?
He said the reason he sold it to her because she was worried about a bunch of stuff that could go wrong with the vehicle. Hang on, Tawny, because your boyfriend inspecting it, so he said, I sold it to her to give her peace of mind.
I had to dump it.
Why?
Because I think she said BS. I'm not positive, but I think she did, so I had to dump her. We'll bring her back up. We got to rebuild this thing. But in the meantime, please, 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 let's call her, pick her up off air, and tell her to call right now and try to jog some memories. And let's see if they're going to handle it right now. I'm not going to help her try to return the truck. If that's really what she's looking for, I'm not in it.
I have a feeling that's what she's looking for,
Well,
Mark.
ask her off air, because I think she dropped a no-no word. Potty mouth, potty mouth. All right. Art, what's going on with Richmond Homes in a warranty issue? Are you the same one that called this week already?
No, I'm not.
My God, what is going on with Richmond? Is this not our third call this week on Richmond, Deputy Dan? Second? So what's your problem? We had one guy say it's been 2 years and they haven't finished the walkthrough warranty work. What's your problem, Art?
That's the irony of it, because when I heard that caller, it triggered mine. It's been almost 2 years, and this is my son's house, actually.
What was the issue?
Well,
the biggest issue.
There was a big punch list, and after about the fourth or fifth guy came out, the supervisor to work on the things, I began taking pictures of the list. The biggest single issue is the grading in the front yard that is off. And they've had it
well, what do you mean it's off? Is it going towards the house? Is water going towards the house?
It goes to, instead of going to the front, to the curb, it forces it to go to the back.
Well, did they acknowledge that? I mean, some of these water plans...
Yep, they have acknowledged it entirely.
But
surveyors come out and shoot it.
Art, does it leave your property, though, and flow somewhere else?
Correct. This is where it's at.
So why do you care, though?
He has a big walkout lot.
Yeah.
And in order to get back on that side of the house, he wants to put in concrete steps to get back there. you can't do it because the water just continually flows down that hill.
And they have 100% acknowledged it's not right and they're going to fix it, and they haven't fixed it in this amount of time?
Correct. There's been 4 different project supervisors plus their supervisor.
Does he have any of them, anything in writing or on video or audio where they say they are going to fix it? Is there anything?
I've got 2 pictures of punch lists that after the second or third guy I started taking pictures of the list that they would create when they came over. As it stands right now, they're promising him that they have 3 or 4 lots or whatever it is that need to be corrected in that subdivision.
You know, we've got a guy
to get them all put together.
Suzanne, call. I think his name was Brian Matt. I think he's with Richmond. He might know who to put us through. We did have an issue with Richmond where, remember that lady had all those boxes in her basement. The sewer backed up because Richmond did something wrong. The boxes got flooded. They had to move them, and Richmond didn't want to pay the moving bill. We called over there. They did handle it. They did reimburse them. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But I got to tell you something, Richmond. They're in the same place these other guys are. They're building stuff. They can't keep up with it, and they're putting warranty work to the back because they don't have the right people.
Well, the guy that called earlier this week about Richmond, I told him to send me the list so I could address it with your contact there, and he never sent me the list.
Get me that list, too, while I'm thinking of that, Art. Get me the punch list. Get me whatever evidence. But let's reach out to them. Let's mark this as a follow-up. Get all of Art's info. And I got to tell you, Richmond has come through in the past. They have. But it's getting a little strange how many questions we're having on warranty work. It really, really is. I don't know what to make of that. I hope they're not. I know they're not in financial trouble, but, man, they can be real quick. If all of a sudden you're not doing warranty work, fast forward 5 years, these people are buying their second house. If this was their first house and the last person they're going to buy it from is Richmond, I mean, it's a ball rolling. It's not good, guys. I don't like any part of this. So, Richmond, please, if anybody's working there, tell us what's going on. At least be straight. We're so busy we can't do warranty work. Well, then you got to fix it. You got to figure something out. Jim, what's your comment on Eric Laxon?
Yeah, Mark, I just listening to that call. I mean, just listening to that situation, and I just have one question.
Well, hold on real quick, because there's people that have joined us have no idea what we're talking about. This is the contractor that went out. The woman was in Mexico. He was dealing with her insurance company. She paid him $2,400.
No, that was Torres.
Oh, that was Torres. Yeah. Oh, which one is... Oh, this is the guy...
the Home Depot credit card guy.
Oh, my God. This one's... I don't know which is worse. This whole week's been a nightmare. This guy, everybody out there, this woman was a Air Force vet, and she's actually injured as well. She's a disabled vet. He goes out there. He gets her Home Depot account and charges $18,000 worth of materials, food, and equipment, like saws and other stuff. In fact, Dan, you said on the receipts he bought 2 what?
What are they?
Miter saws?
No, they're Milwaukee right angles. What do they call them? Saw hogs.
They're like, what, $400 or $500 a piece?
Yeah, $390, something like that.
Yeah, so $400 plus on tax, buys all this stuff, keeps all the tools, returns a lot of this stuff, not back to her credit card, but without a receipt, so he gets the money back, and he takes $26,000 from her in checks that were cashed, and I verified all this. I have a copy of the checks. We went out to her place where he worked. There is nothing there. All he did was some demo work. He put in that plastic tub that's not hooked up. The plumbing is not hooked up. There is no floor. It's nothing but a wood floor, and the guy won't do a damn thing. So, Jim, what's your comment?
Well, in an age of identity theft and fraud, you would think we'd be beyond this kind of situation. But isn't there a red flag at Home Depot? $18,000?
No, she allowed him to use the card. They would call her. How they work is... they call the person on record. She answered the phone because it's her phone, of course, and she gave permission and gave whatever credentials to prove that it was her. So, no, I'm not saying she got okey-doked. He screwed her. I mean, he screwed her. That's it. He quite frankly, you know, I can't even say those words, but it was horrible.
So they did.
He gave her the okey-doke.
They called her and she okayed it. Okay.
Yeah.
I just assumed that she gave her card, because, you know,
Well, you know what I would do if that was correct. I'd go after Home Depot and get all those charges done, but that wasn't the case.
Correct. You would think Home Depot would be responsible for that kind of, but if she okayed it, I did not know that. But that was all I had. I'm sorry that something like that still happens, but
oh, it's crazy. And I don't know what it is about this last week or this week. They've been crazy, haven't they, Dan? I mean, everything we go out on is just it is so overblown. It's crazy.
And then multiple people. This Eric Laxon hit 3 different older women in that complex.
Oh, Eric, he worked that complex just like you know, a door knocker.
Older women.
Oh, and they're all, what do they have it?
Single older women.
Lonely. I'll say it. I'm not going to, you know, I won't. The single women in the same complex, and that's just this complex. We don't know where this guy is. He's probably everywhere. He knows his target. I'll tell you what he is. He was hunting. He was out hunting, and he found his prey right there, and then the prey knows someone like them, and then he got them, and then he got the other person. The guy's a hunter. The guy is just he's a reptile. In my opinion, the guy is a reptile.
And they all said the same thing. He says, oh, he was so nice at first.
Oh, of course. 303-713-8255. Alex, hold tight. Tabitha, hold tight. One line open, 303 Martino. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after these messages.
I got to look up who else I do.
So I talked to one of the guys, and all these people hire their people off of Craigslist. Both those people, they picked up their people.
Put up Genesis' phone number for me, please.
And he didn't pay them?
Didn't pay them.
And Wink and Wink.
He paid them a little bit, and didn't pay them. But they were off of Craigslist, so they're just like laborers.
And of course, the D line is shut down right now between 18th and Stout and 30th and down.
Well, you hate to not. You got to trust somebody, but I mean, you just.
Right.
Well, you do it like this. You pay when the job's done, and you're happy.
Right.
I mean, she didn't just pay up front. Shit, she paid more than 8 of her jobs would have been to do.
Yeah.
And what he did, and
well, we see that in ours. People get money up front to do an engine or just then they don't.
We had that one there also. We had one where the guy paid the engine up front there, and the
whatever happened with that?
He's been gone on vacation and stuff, or all country on work, and now he's getting back. He's going to get all that stuff back. So this is the guy that he was having cancer issues.
I remember that. Yeah, he was doing the custom engines. Yeah.
Tom made him cry.
Yeah.
Mark, maybe it was Mark who made him cry.
No, it was Tom. But you got to be responsible if you take money from people. You can't, how do you sleep at night? I don't get it.
Oh, I think they sleep because they got some cash in their pocket now.
I guess.
This Torres, that guy has done before. His company's only about 5 months old, and I'll guarantee you're supposed to still haven't got to send that to me, Mark. The I-25 picture.
Say it again.
You got to send me that I-25 picture on that Torres so I can put that sign up. I-25. That's the thing to do. Because he had other, and he's not licensed in Denver, and we've seen at least one other sign that he had in somebody's yard that he was supposed to do the roof. And that's going to end up the same way. And this is not nice places in Denver. I mean, you can throw a rock to about 8 different railroad tracks. So.
Are you a U.S. veteran?
Try that to I-25 and 70.
Oh, so Globeville, that way.
Right, you got it.
Globeville?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah. That's an old neighborhood up there. Some neat old houses.
Little houses.
Yep. Yeah.
Some of them are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Some of them are just trash.
Oh, yeah. No,
and nobody has big side yards.
No, the houses are very close.
Yeah.
And
this one, seriously, Mark says that too. It's just like, it's worse than a shack. I mean, it was at best a shack. There was no sink. There might have been a light bulb here and there. They had taken the fixtures out.
Oh, jeez.
The guy who was going to do the work took the sinks, fixture, a door, at least one door, and took it out of the house.
To do what with?
To sell. Apparently he thought they were going to demo it, so he was just taking stuff out. The roof needed new decking. He ran out of decking, so only half the roof has decking, and then it goes, you can see it's really, and the thing about the siding, absolutely true.
Wow.
They took siding from the back, put it on the front.
We were looking like these guys. Okay, we've heard it all, but we haven't seen this one.
And he told the guy, says, hey, she won't see it. She won't notice it because it's in the back where we took it out from.
It was crazy, man.
True, absolutely true.
Oh, it was nuts. And then the homeless guy who was renting to's there, she hired him to do some other work. He never paid him either. Well, I guess he paid him by letting him stay
in the shed.
In the shed.
In the basement. He had to stay in the basement. We didn't get down in the
It's probably the only thing that doesn't leak in that house is a basement. I wouldn't go down there. There's certain places I've walked into stuff where I won't walk in, man. I'm like, there is no way. I don't care what's in there, what you want to show me. I ain't going in there.
Oh, this other lady that he's supposed to go see, Eric Lax is supposed to see on Saturday. I talked to Mark. He had worked there. Mark, he says,
quarter.
Cats. He says the reason they cut the steps out is they were rotten because of
cat piss. Oh my God! And cat urine is the worst smell.
Oh, of course.
It's so strong.
This other lady had birds.
Oh my God! And let me tell
That could
you.
be worse.
Well, here's the thing: they were like parrots. I mean, these are 100-year birds squawking. She had cats too, though.
And a dog.
All right, listen, I have got an update coming up next hour you're not going to want to miss. If you've listened to the show for a long time, by the way, you got to tell your friends about this show. It's the only show of its kind. A lot of people move to Colorado every year. It's crazy. And don't forget, tell them about referralist.com so this kind of stuff doesn't happen to them. But I have got, are you ready? Are you ready? A Kalen Eccles update. Yes, I do. I do. I'm not going to say what it is right now.
The ladies' man.
The ladies' man I have an update on, and it's mind-blowing. In fact, my mind is literally, if you're on Facebook watching us, we're always here on Facebook Live, it's blowing out of my ears right now. My brain is, I'm not even going to get upset. I'm not even going to get upset. Look at me. Kevin, I'm smiling.
Yeah, you will. Give it time.
Well, we're going to have a Kalen Eccles update after the top. We are. Now, Tawny's back. She purchased a vehicle. It was around $18,500 from Sterling Auto in Franktown. According to her, she puts down $13,000. And Father Time has now joined us in studio. Where are you going, Rolly? He turned around and walked out. I'm not saying you're old. I'm just saying you're the oldest in the room. I'm not saying you're old. You're just, you've got, what is that called? You have seniority. Not senior moments. I didn't say that. You have seniority when you walk in, sir. You're looking good, though. You're looking good. Look at him. Gentlemen, does he not look good?
Fit and shape.
Look at him. What are you doing, man? How are you doing?
I'm getting older.
Yeah.
Who is the oldest in the room?
Hit that. Oh, well, I forgot. Ron with Master drives in. I don't know. That's a toss-up. Suzanne, who do you think's older, Ron or Rolly?
I am not going to answer that.
Boy,
I am a lady. I wouldn't want them to answer that about me.
Huh. What are you guys saying? That's not... I don't understand. Is this something I shouldn't be asking? Is this not...
what's the big deal?
Yeah, socially acceptable? You know, when have I ever been politically correct?
Well, it sure isn't never in your lifetime. Ask Suzanne to make that judgment. So,
Suzanne, generally I'm politically correct.
Can we talk about the maturity? Who's the least mature in there?
Deputy Dan. Deputy Dan. Always cracking jokes and making me laugh during the show. How many times has Tom scolded us for heckling?
Once or twice.
All right, listen, let's get back to Tawny. So anyhow, she buys this. Rolly, this is unbelievable. Have you ever heard of Sterling Auto, by the way?
This whole deal is such a mess. Really, I don't know if she bought the thing as is, and she did buy it.
She did, but
she bought it as is.
But that's right.
And
but
then they
still,
stuffed this warranty on top of her.
Well, but that was days later. They said,
Yeah,
hey, buy this warranty and it'll fix everything.
No, this thing is like a downhill train with no brakes.
All right, let's see what she called over. Tawny, what did they say when you called over? And I know you're going to say, oh, they were upset I called you. But other than that, what happened?
No, they didn't say. He didn't say anything about calling you guys, but he just said what's going on, and we kind of got into it. And basically, he's like, just bring the truck back. And I said, well, I'm in Missouri right now.
Well, that's not their fault.
I know. I said, so I can bring it back when I get back because.
Well, what are they going to do? Are they saying they're going to refund it?
I think so.
Or fix it? How many miles?
It sounds like to me.
Well, that'd be great. I mean, I don't think they need to do that. I think they should fix it. It might cost more to fix, though, than what she has into it. But
exactly.
If they'll back this deal up, Mark.
Oh, my God, it's the best thing ever.
Goodbye.
Yeah, get out of there.
But,
you know, bring it back.
Well, I got to give them kudos. Well, let's see how they handle it, but I got to give them kudos. If everything's going down, I can say, if everything is correct and they're going to return that vehicle and it actually happens, I wouldn't feel bad about buying a vehicle there if they're going to be able, if they're going to give me a warranty and return it.
I think like I said, the whole thing's a mess.
What do you know about this company?
I really don't. I know the name. I do know the name, but when it comes to buying as is and everything, that's what it is. It's as is.
And she didn't have it checked out.
They've actually kind of she didn't have it checked out.
She didn't do anything right.
They've kind of gone beyond what they certainly had to do.
Tawny, let us keep us informed. And listen, here's what I definitely want done. If they do return it, don't forget to call and give us the update. I realize you're definitely going to call if they don't return it and you don't have an issue, but you got to call us and tell us the good, too, okay?
Okay,
you promise. I want to hear you say, cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye.
Yeah, she's got some responsibility.
Stick a needle in my eye.
Perfect. Thank you. Hold tight. Let's get her information so when she doesn't call us back, we can actually dig it with her.
No heckling.
Advice with Arapahoe Hyundai. I have purchased numerous vehicles from Arapahoe Hyundai. Go ahead, Leah.
Oh, hi.
Yes.
I didn't know I was going to actually get to talk to someone. But here's my story. I purchased a vehicle from Arapahoe Hyundai recently.
Yeah.
And
New or used?
It was a lease. New.
Okay. Go ahead. You signed a lease. Go ahead.
Yep. And I had a previous lease that I was turning in, and they told me they would pay off my lease. And they called to get the payoff, and they got a Honda. Honda was closed, so they got a payoff off of the automated system.
Okay.
Anyway, I find out later that there's almost a $300 balance, and they won't make my payoff, complete the payoff. They say it's my responsibility.
Well, okay, I don't know if it is or isn't. Why would it be theirs? I mean, try to explain to me why you think it's 100% their fault. So let's say they did mess up, and they did. So the payoff was $15,000. I'm just throwing numbers out there, and the automated system said $14,700. How is this Arapahoe Hyundai's issue?
Well, because they told me they would pay for my vehicle, and my vehicle would be taken.
Yeah, but they were told by that lender it was that much.
So then you feel it is my responsibility.
I feel if you truly owed that money. Now, I would say this. I think they should build it into the whole deal so you don't have to come up with the $300. But I'm not saying they should cop up the $300. Rolly, if this happens, how many times has this happened with a payoff with you?
Yeah, well, that can change in a heartbeat with just with different dates and stuff like that. But I think they probably should have known, the lender, whoever she had her car financed with.
So you think the issue might be Honda. Hold on a second, Leah. I'm going to make a call over there.
Somebody made a mistake.
Yeah, someone definitely did, and you're doing it. Maybe they can build it in. But hold tight, 303-713-8255. Listen, we have a lot going on. Suzanne, let's have Allie call over to Arapahoe Hyundai, see if we can figure something out there, give an update next hour. Everybody hold tight. Alex, Tabitha, Leah, I'm Mark Major, and this is Troubleshooter Network.
Don't miss.
They would have just built that in $300 more, though. So watch.
Well, could be, but payoff is a payoff is a payoff.
The payoff is a payoff, you're right.
And it's not. So here's how I look at it. I call you, you're the lender. I call you up for the payoff. You tell me $15,000. I do the deal.
Through a certain date.
I sell her the next car, and I build it in. And then they say, whoops, well, we gave you the wrong info. It was actually $20,000. I don't think that's not my fault, though.
The date may be the deal. Yeah, you got it.
The payoff is usually
and then there's a per diem and all that.
Visit our showroom at 4800 Washington.
Actually, Dan, I think you're going to have to make that call because Allie doesn't even, I don't even think she has a comprehension of what we're talking about. She's 20, I forget she's 20 years old. She has no idea what we're talking about.
And I can help. Set up a free case evaluation at
I'll get the salesperson.
Although you're basically the same mentality as a 20-year-old.
20-year-old boy. I look as young. What you're saying?
He's my muscle when I go out.
Who is old? How old are you? Not as old as you.
Let's cover his bases.
It's Family Feud.
I guarantee you I'm older than you, Rob.
Guarantees, he said.
I would think 67.
Thank you, Mark. Hola. He says guaranteed.
You look like you're 67.
You believe it? I sat here and I spilled on me the second I sat down. I literally, look, I'm still soaked. I couldn't believe it, and I started thinking you're haunting me somehow.
Did you get my email? That's those spots.
No, I'll look at it. I just, oh shit, sign me out, please.
And then I want to talk to you about the meeting I had. Hey guys, how you doing?
How are you doing?
I had my daughter this morning and I ran late.
All right, Ron, I'm kicking you out from my spot. Oh, Dan, give him your spot, please. I did. I sat down. The entire thing of water spilled on me. I couldn't believe it.
This is your mic. That's your headphone.
You don't
it
see
doesn't
what?
say you're signed in.
My Gmail's up.
So when you talk, Ron,
why doesn't it show it? It doesn't show that. Okay, I'll just get out of it.
Yeah.
When you talk,
it doesn't show you're signed in.
Well, I don't sign in like you do. I just pull up Gmail.
Oh, okay.
But it'll stay up because my password's entered.
Is this my water? That's fine. Okay. That's my water.
So, what's new, guys?
Yes.
What was hot? Anything?
What do you mean?
Anything topic? Any topic?
Everything. It's just
kind of all over here.
It's a little everything.
Another Richmond home.
So Frank Duran. Who else did I do, guys? Frank
Century.
Duran. Century RV. Frank Duran. And that was it, right? I didn't get to Wink and Wink. So you got Wink and Wink, and you've got Genesis.
That's it?
Well, and whatever third hour's plummeting us with.
Mostly sunny, but relatively cool today with a high of 72 tonight.
I'm running there as soon as we switch over today.
Anything we're talking about as far as you guys? Is there anything special with you guys?
Oh, yes. We don't know which one's older, Rolly or Ron.
Well, we just
figured it out.
We just voted.
But do you have any events going on? Usually you come by, you have an event or something, no?
You know, some of it might be really interesting. It's up to you guys. But I think these guys would be, especially with new cars, we're heading toward autonomous systems that are not just the autonomous car.
What do you mean by autonomous systems?
Autonomous
braking,
emergency
steering,
braking
like
system,
what our cars do.
I have that. You know, one day, I swear to God, this is the truth, I was looking down at my phone. And all of a sudden, my car brakes and pulls me into the center of the lane. I didn't realize I had it on. It was on the Mercedes, and I went, I would have hit that fucking wall. I would have hit it.
Okay, now in some respects it's fantastic, okay, like that, if you're not, if it's distracted. However, there's some real dangers because the computer takes over control of the braking system, period, takes control. Now, what does the driver do?
Well, you're
because you change it, that's the question.
Yeah.
Because now you've changed the dynamics drastically in the car, weight shift to the front big time, and
so
now
you don't like them? Do you not like them?
No, but you have to learn to use it. It's just like ABS.
Yeah. You know, my Traverse.
Well, let me finish for a second. Well, especially since you have a new Mercedes, because those systems really are fantastic if you know how to use it. Meaning, any input by the driver will release it, supposedly, will release the computer control, i.e., either to the brake or turning. Okay. However, if the driver freezes, then you're under the control of the computer.
The Traverse just gives me alarms.
Yeah.
When you're approaching a...
But it doesn't do it for you.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't kick in.
Mine does everything. Everything.
Rolly, how is General Motors when it comes to the self-driving thing?
They're all
everybody's
in it. Knee-deep.
It just gets better and better. I bet it's going to be less than, I'd say 2021 we'll have a fully autonomous vehicle I can buy. For less than 100,000.
I never thought a million years ago because the roads are so...
You're not going to hop in the back seat right now. Nor would you then. But
the roads are so inconsistent.
Like mine, after a certain amount of time, mine tells me it's not going to drive anymore. I've got to drive, or it's going to release.
If I take my hands off the wheel, it starts giving me an alarm, and it won't keep it up. It will not let me take the hands.
I think it's because of that guy that died in Tesla is why they...
I try to show the kids. I say, kids, look, and they say, you're doing that. I said, no, look, I put my hands, and then it's steer. I say, look, and they go, but then it goes, beep, and it'll go off.
Yeah, it turns right off on you.
There's no input of the driver. Now, but all of it's computer control. Now, we all know that computers never
Screw up.
You know what? That's the thing I'm so shocked at, is how willing we are to turn ourselves into self-drivers. I'm not, but...
I'm not either. So if you have a snow-covered road,
God, I am.
What does it do? Well, it depends on what car.
Well, no lines is what he's meaning.
Yeah, it probably, my car would have no idea what to do, so it wouldn't let me put it in there.
So this is what's going to happen, is people are going to say, well, you're going to be used to looking at your text.
Well, you know what?
On the sophistication
No, it won't let you in that mode then.
We had an airplane that we used to refer to as a doctor killer because it was fully automated and doctors could afford them. And they could fly in bad weather and IFR. They're not flying it. They're just sitting there. And those things go out.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can. I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Fighting for you. Helping you. Did we leave off with any problems, Mark, from the first
Arapahoe Hyundai. I got to tell you, I don't think they did anything wrong, but here's basically it. They sold her a car, a new lease. They had to pay off on her old vehicle. They got the numbers wrong. We're not sure why yet, but there was a $300 deficiency on her old vehicle. She thinks Arapahoe Hyundai's responsible for that. That's where we left off.
You know, usually, and you guys know, Rolly, you know as a dealer, when you sign a trade-in agreement, as an owner, it says, this is the payoff we've gotten from the manufacturer or from you. This is an estimation. The actual price reflected will either amount to a credit, which we keep, or a deficit that you pay, basically, right?
But yes, it can work that way. But most often than not, there's not mistakes made on payoffs.
Okay, and nowadays, with computers, you're right, Rolly, but it used to be that they said, if there's anything wrong here, you agree to pay.
Yes.
You're right. And I can't imagine that's not in the contract. What if it was a huge...
What's the follow-ups?
So, hey, Tom, listen, I called down there. Those guys are always so nice to communicate with us. Tony just wants to get all her paperwork and his ducks in a row. He's going to give me a call back on my cell and tell me what's going on.
But here's the deal. If there was a deficit and she did not, she has to pay it.
She owes it.
I don't know of any dealer that will absorb a deficit because the payoff was wrong.
You know, if we're talking $40 or something, who cares?
Now who?
It could be anything.
But who got the payoff? Did the dealer get the payoff?
Tom, Honda, for Honda, her old lease, they're telling her that they paid it off late and another payment came due.
Oh, that's
and
way
that's
different.
Why there's a deficit.
That's way different.
So that's why I'm getting the other side.
That's way different.
Then I think they owe it. Yeah. They missed the time.
Because you get a payoff, Rolly, from the when you take a trade, you get a payoff for a certain date, right?
Right, and then there's per diem after that.
And then if you screwed up and waited a week to pay, you would pay the difference.
No, we know when we pay something off, we know when that date is.
But $300 for 4 days late doesn't make sense either.
Doesn't make sense.
No, not for a per diem per day. My God, that would be the craziest.
Alex, what's going on with you? Hello, Alex.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
My specific situation is a little long-winded, but my general question is with buying and selling cars, used cars, private party to private party, specifically liabilities on my part if I sell one, if I make some mechanical changes, fixes to a car, and I'm not a licensed mechanic.
If you did something, it's like any other product. If you did something negligently to a car, if you did something haphazard to the brakes, if you worked on that car and it caused death or injury, they will find a way to sue you.
Okay. So
I mean, if there's liability, there are liabilities in airplanes, in aircraft. I mean, a lot of these amateur guys that sell and buy airplanes, they are putting their whole lives in danger because you take liability. Now, that doesn't mean just anything. It has to be negligent. It has to be something that you did that was egregious or negligent. I mean, if you just simply did an oil change, that's not a big deal. But if you sell a car, for example, let's say the frame broke and it killed a family, you would have attorneys coming after you saying that what they would try to show is that you knew about this condition and didn't do anything about it or did not inform the people, even if it was sold as is. Now, there are ways, people don't always prevail in those lawsuits, but they do come up. I mean, anything that you sell, anything, if you sell a bed, anything that you sell, theoretically, can come back to haunt you.
Okay, so what can I do to protect myself in that case? Can I get, take it to a licensed mechanic and get a complete vehicle inspection?
You can Sell the vehicle as is and be totally honest. As is. Okay. Just be total. And then you encourage the new owner to get it checked out. And you have a bill of sale that says, as is, owner has had car checked out and is satisfied with condition as is. And I'm not going to tell you how to write this legally, but there is a way to hold harmless seller in all blah, 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 blah. Yeah, there's a disclaimer that would hold up, yes. Now, unless it was egregious, and I'm talking about something that wouldn't happen with you. It would be where you knew something was up really behind somewhere and it was broken and it was going to break away any time now and kill somebody, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about just a normal thing. Were you going to say, I thought you were perched to say something? I'm sorry.
Well, just if you look at, as an example in real estate, on the seller to a buyer, okay, that is, there's a process in regard to disclosure.
Yes.
It's not that something can't go wrong. You're not giving, as a seller, a warranty.
No, not
You're giving a disclosure of what has happened, what you've done, etc. Right. And as long as that's done ethically, then you know, I think
Ron brings up a good point from Master Drive. What he said was, what he's saying is, if you tell him everything you know, that actually insulates you. You say, hey, by the way, I had one time I had this, one time I had that. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people don't want to do that. They think it affects the value. But listen.
But most times it's not going to matter anyhow, because he's talking, he bought something, he fixed it up and sold it. He doesn't even know the history of that vehicle, nor does he got to go through it and figure everything out.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. Most likely no one will prevail against you, Alex. But you know what? I've won lawsuits where I've spent $100 grand. I won, and I spent $100 grand. You don't always get it back. So yeah, it can happen. I think that one of the best things to do, people always say, you know, private sale, private sale, private sale. I think there's something to be said about trading a car in. I mean, unless you don't want another car. Oh, no, you do this as a living or something? Do you buy and...
No. So I drive an 03 Mazda Tribute, and in March, my catalytic converter clogged the next catalytic converter. Yeah, the mechanic quote basically total it. So I just learned how to do it myself.
Oh.
And I did it for about just under $1,000, which over half of that would be non-recurring. So I'm just trying to figure out if I could
disclose it.
You know, there's about 4 of them on Craigslist right now with the same problem.
Buy them and disclose it, saying I bought it like this, fixed it, here it is, as is.
That's just what I'm trying to figure out. I'm also trying to figure out if it's even worth it or if I'm just crazy. But you know, I've got this new skill. I don't want to necessarily go to.
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool that you have this skill.
And I think you can get the as-is disclosure,
of course
the verbiage through the state, and then
you can get enough. You can get enough disclaimer in that. Really, you really can. Tabitha, what's happening with you? We have a couple lines open. 303-713-TALK 713-8255. Tabitha, what's happening?
Hey guys, happy Friday.
Hey, thank you. What's going on?
Thanks for having me on. So mine's kind of a long story. So I did send pictures and a video. So last October, I first off, I built my house with a Habitat for Humanity, and it's me and my 3 kids. And I have some property, and I have twin boys, and my biggest concern was the safety of my yard. So I had borrowed against my retirement after a few years of being here so that I could put a fence up so they can play in the backyard. And I did some research and called a couple of people and had some estimates, and one of them happened to be 5-star cedar fence, and I did read a couple of their reviews, and they were good. They said they were good. They had a couple of issues with them coming out on time, and in my case, it worked out okay because it had been snowing when I started with them. But so I reached out to Bill Addison after my first estimate and asked about the cost again, and agreed that I liked the quote that I was given, and if they wanted to come out, I'd like to get it up as soon as possible. That was starting in April of this year. And came out, Victor, I don't know Victor's last name. Victor's the one that was there.
Well, what's the problem? We don't have to go through the whole process. What's the problem right now?
The fence is awful. It's falling apart. I've asked him several times.
What kind of fence did you put up?
Cedar fence. Well, it's supposed to be a cedar fence, but it's completely peeling apart. The gate's sagging, the lock's falling off. They overlapped it. They brought my fence in a foot from my property so they didn't have to pull the property line. There's nails sticking out.
Well, there's likely a setback anyway. I mean, no one puts it on the property line. I've never heard of a fence on a property line unless both owners do it. There's usually a setback. But I don't want to get into that part. The fence, if it's crappy, it's crappy. It shouldn't be crappy.
It's awful. Awful.
What do they say about it? What does 5-star say about it?
So Bill had said, well, and one thing that so when they came out, they rented a skid steer to move my shed for me because that was in the agreement because I wanted my shed in my backyard. Well, after it was said and done, they said they're not experienced with moving sheds, and they destroyed my backyard with that, and they broke my shed, and they leveled it with like bricks and 2x4s they found in my backyard. And I asked them, can you fix that? And nobody's done it. But he said he would come out. So on Easter, my nephew called me and said, hey, Auntie, someone's taking your fence down, because I wasn't home, and I got home, and the installer was here. He climbed the fence. He pulled a couple nails, and that was it.
Well, okay, so what do you want?
I want them to come take it down and fix it.
You mean take it down and redo it? What do they say? Will they do it or not?
He said he was going to send someone out. No one came out. He said again, maybe after the 4th of July. We're really busy, and still nothing. And I can't really find who the owner is because Vic said Bill's the owner, and Bill said Vic's the owner. So I don't know who the owner is. So no one but Victor has seen the fence, and he was the installer. And I asked to not have him because he thinks that his work is good. And the concrete's above the ground. I mean, it's awful. So the boards are falling out.
Okay, you don't have to. We need to get it checked or get photos or something. Do you have any photos?
Yeah, I sent you a video and photos.
Where is it? Suzanne, did you send it to me? The video and photos that she has?
I'm looking at the photos. You know, the hard part is she's got a picture of like a nail sticking out so close up. Can you send a picture of like the general look of it?
I see it. Yeah. So that's scuffing and that, and yeah, okay. So, damn. Now, is that one post really up that high compared to the rest?
Yeah. Did you see the other one where he just kind of built it around the electric pole too? There was a really good one I sent you where he just stuck some boards up around the electrical pole.
You're right there.
Yeah.
God. Oh no, that's actually. Let's call the fence company. I mean, all we can do is try to see where's their head at. I mean, why wouldn't they make this right? Tabitha, how'd you find 5 Star? How'd you find them?
Online, just like I did all the other ones. They just had a good price, and like I said, they didn't have crappy reviews. So I thought, okay, makes sense. You know, you kind of do.
You can't even trust reviews anymore. You can to a certain extent, but not all the time. I mean, you can to a certain extent.
And you know, the thing is that I've given them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm just like, it's like literally boards are falling out. Like,
and I want to call this company. Let's just try to help her. I want to help her. And I want to tell you a personal experience with reviews. I learned a lot.
I can see what they emailed you. I'd like to see that.
Just there were like a million emails and a million texts about where's your spots for Monday and Tuesday.
Why though?
Because okay, if you're doing the show, you can do the spot.
We're not here Monday or Tuesday.
Right. Well, then they need a spot to run.
He's got a shitload of them.
No, but he needs Rockies specifically they want one for saying we're open today. The grill is on.
I got you.
Okay, but I know that.
And you
Sergio sent it to me. Well, yes, they would have had it anyway, but they treat me like I'm a senile, like crazy person. Like, who gets anything done? Who never gets anything done? It's like I've never had more reminders in my life. I mean, have I ever left without doing what I'm supposed to do? I mean, when I take off, I take care of business. I mean, but okay.
I'm still over here.
I'm not getting a new.
If I had a typewriter, I'd toss it across the room, but I don't have one right now. Right? Rolly and I.
How about some headphones? Oh, shit.
Rolly knew me when I was a crazy
Oh, God. This
I
ain't
was
nothing,
a crazy
buddy.
person. I really was, but I can't believe how much I've mellowed.
No, I'm sorry. You were kind of feeling like Mark is now.
No, Mark.
But there's a degree of control with Mark. With you, when you went off, it was over. God, that day you smashed those headphones up and everything on that glass. Oh my God!
I walked out one day. I walked out of the show. And
who came in?
They were playing. They got me back, but I got so pissed I forget what it was about. And I walked.
Boy.
The general manager at the time was Barenfeld, and he comes running after me. What are you doing? What are you crazy? Get in there. And I said, no, have them do it. They know more than me. I don't know. I was stupid. I just shouldn't do that. Because actually, as you get older and weaker, and I don't mean I'm always weak, but I'm not where I was. I'm not like on TV every night doing everything I used to do. So now's the time for them to get revenge. You know, like, you're not so hot anymore, asshole. So if you're really bad to people, they'll get back at you. I mean, luckily I wasn't that bad. I'm not saying it's happening.
For a while downtown, when you'd get off on somebody and they call them everything. But
I remember Lee would pull me out of the studio and say, "You're insane. Don't do that." Lee Larson, oh God, Lee Larson was so pissed at me. He liked you.
We were downtown Denver. We'd go down.
He liked me, but he got so pissed at me. I thought he would like fire me or something. He was so mad at his veins would pop.
We'd go downstairs and we'd go right to a parking garage and that opened up out there. I look at Tom and I go, "Where do you think they are?"
Where do you think they are? They're watching you.
He'd park in the same spot. Oh, it would have been so easy. It would have been so easy.
So we were not. Listen to this. You know, Mark, I feel like silly or like just fun. I just feel like, and I'd have a suit on. We're getting ready to go to TV. Literally dressed with a 3-piece suit and a tie, and I leap on Rolly and pull him down to the ground on the grass.
A tamarack.
He was laughing so hard he couldn't take it up. I say, "You think you're so tough?" And then I grab him and I pull him down, and he was laughing so hard he couldn't get up. But I was crazy. I think I had a chemical imbalance or something.
It was a different time, that's for sure.
Eliminate the middleman. Go direct and save. And if you've already gotten a drain estimate, Plumline gives free second opinions.
And then when it was really about the showbiz, Tom would just be going nuts. Just crazy, standing up and everything. Then we go to break, he'd sit down and go, "So what you do this weekend?"
They both can do that. That's amazing. They'd just be cursing someone out.
Oh, exactly.
Off on, off on.
Man jailed for hitting Muslim teen with bacon.
Well, slap you with a pig.
Hello, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
303-713-TALK. So reviews, you know, I say I don't follow reviews, but I kind of do. I look at reviews, and I did have a tendency to shy away if there was some real drama. And I'm going to give you a personal experience. I looked high and low on my referral list. We didn't have anybody that did epoxy floors. And I needed a couple epoxy floors done, so I called Garage Guru because he advertises, and he actually resells floors for Garage Force, and he also does a great wall system of shelving, and he's a good guy. But then he hooked me up to Garage Force, and I looked up Garage Force, and they had this one negative review. And the guy, I mean, really bad, saying, now Garage Guru is trying to sabotage my Facebook, and they're trying to do this and they're trying to do that, and it sounded like there was some feud going on, but there wasn't. But this one guy, you can get one nut is what I'm saying, and they can hurt you so bad with reviews, and the way they talk is so insane, you start thinking, well, maybe there's a little truth to it. But then I went to this one company that had rave reviews, great reviews, and I decided, okay, I'll try with them. And then I didn't even like their lack of follow-up and it was just bad news before I even got started. I could never get someone on the phone. I could never really just talk to people. And then, so I ended up going with this one where they had this one bad review that really, really sounded bad. And the company did a perfect job. Garage Force, that is. They did a perfect job. And beyond expectations. Also, Garage Guru did a good job, but they're hooked up, and, you know, he sells for them, and then he sells his own stuff. But the point I'm making is, I almost didn't want to call them because just one bad review, because it sounded so insane. And you start thinking, you know how we get people on this show that get so angry, they will go out and plaster the entire internet. And one review, even though it's just one, sounds like it's 100 of them. And then they start making weird accusations like, you know, so-and-so rode past my house last night, or, you know, or they're stalking me. No, have you ever had a nut customer? Seriously, have you?
I think we all have.
At the driving school you wouldn't. I mean, there's really not much, you know, with driving, right? Driving, you have you ever had a nightmare?
Well, yeah, we get them over, you know, not all the time.
Rolly, I never recall one you had. I mean,
just somebody, especially with the internet now, somebody that is just sideways, and they're actually the ones wrong. You know, if I even think that we're responsible. Something's going to happen right now.
I understand that, but also, don't you hate that feeling of being blackmailed?
Well, yeah, you know how personal I take it.
But a lot of people now are using the internet for blackmail.
Yeah. Well, they won't even communicate. That's the worst part. They want to leave the review and disappear.
Yeah, they hide.
But we had a guy. They ask for free stuff. They say, you negotiated a settlement for one client. We had a client on the referral list. They did nothing wrong. But the person didn't like, what didn't they like? You negotiated it down. He didn't want to pay for his roof, period.
$32,000. He gave the company $4 grand. So he owed $28 grand. Everything was done. The gutters were done.
It was done. The insurance company, everyone, the inspector.
It passed inspection.
It was done.
Was great.
And by the way, this is not anyone. It was someone on our referral list. It wasn't Excel, because I know people know I have a personal relationship.
So basically what happens here is the guy said, no, I wanted a different color gutter. It was something with the gutters.
He nitpicked it because he wanted to keep the insurance money. And that's what it came down to. Once you deposit that insurance money, you spend it, and you don't want to pay the bill.
So he goes, no, I'm not going to pay $28,000. So I call him up. I talk to them. They said, listen,
they just wanted to get
by the way, this is a big national company. They're on our referral list here locally, but this is one of the largest roofers in the world. So they say out of their corporate office, you know what, just
get rid of it.
17 grand, we don't want to deal with it.
Now listen, in half, not half, but
they knocked off 10, 11 grand.
Yeah, let's just, and you know what?
Because they didn't want to turn, it's quicker for them.
What did he do? He should have taken 17. He had a beautiful roof
for
a fraction, and instead, he thought he had him on the ropes.
So, but listen, a year goes by.
I don't want to pay that.
A year goes by. I get a call 2 days ago
from the consumer.
He goes, "What do I do? They're suing me for $32,000. I want to pay the 17 grand now, and I got to answer this by Friday, meaning today."
Yes, tough.
So I called them up. I called them up, and they said, "Listen, we're not doing anything. We're done.
Tough.
We already have the attorneys involved now. Everything. We gave him a deal that he was insane not to take. He didn't take it. It is what it is."
Tough.
So what's he going to end up paying? $28,000 plus court costs plus 6%.
No, he will. You know what? You pay your bills.
And attorney's fees.
Had they done something wrong, we would be right there with them. Look we are for the consumer unless they go crazy. But this guy, we negotiated it with nothing wrong. We negotiated it down to, or marked it down to 17 grand.
Like my dad would say, he was trying to ride a good horse to death.
Yep, that's exactly right.
He would say.
So now, did we get a hold of the fencing company, by the way?
Allie's calling on that, but now, I have an update for Leah on line 2.
Let's go to Leah. Leah, she had some kind of deficit on her payoff they wanted her to pay, and it turns out we were told, or did Leah tell us this, or did the leasing company tell us?
Leah.
Leah said that the Arapahoe Hyundai paid off the lease late.
No. That's what David, the general manager, just said, Tom, was that when she traded the lease in, it was after hours, so they used the amount, or the payoff amount, where she logged on to her account to see how much was due.
And what happened?
And then at the bottom, it clearly states if there's any deficiency, she's responsible. If there's anything in her favor.
So why was there a deficiency?
Because I don't know why there was a deficiency, Tom, but she said that that the lease payoff was on June 12th, and they sent it on June 15th, so it wasn't late. They got the check 3 days later.
4 days. It was 4 days later.
Well, June 12th to June 15th.
Here's all I care about. Was the deficit, was the increased payoff due to the fact that they paid 4 days late?
He did not think so. He didn't think that sounded right. And Leah, he said to call him, and he'll help figure that part out.
How much is the deficit they want her to pay?
$300.
Okay. Well, Leah, by the way, you made more mistakes than just this, because did you terminate a lease early?
No.
Well, there was a payoff. You had to have. Did you pay?
Well, there's always a payoff on the lease,
right? Was this the end of your? Was this the end of your lease? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The payoff, yeah.
Okay. So, but by the way, I'm just telling everyone this: never trade in a car on a lease, ever. Just never. Never, ever, ever trade in a car on a lease or another lease car on a new lease, ever. That is the one exception to trade-ins. Never on a lease. Sell it.
Oh.
Leah, what'd they say? Did you call them?
Because you're not going to pay the sales tax anyway when you lease, like you do with a purchase. You're going to pay sales tax, but not like you do with a purchase. And in a lease, Rolly can tell you the way those contracts are written, it's too easy to make that trade equity vanish, isn't it?
It can be done, yes.
Very easily on a lease.
But there's a lot of leases though. Like in our deal here, if we lease stuff, that you can, if you pay the money for the 36 or whatever term, we don't try to go over 36, and you walk away at the end of that lease and do it all over again, or
well, no, if you walk away, sure. I'm not talking about that, but it sounded like, why was there a payoff? Why wasn't it a walk-away lease? I don't understand that. See, she should have been able to walk away. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. You have some kind of deficit. The question is, did they create the deficit? If they did, they owe it to you. If they didn't, you owe it. It's that simple.
And Tom, it sounds like maybe they shouldn't have used her online login to figure out the payoff amount.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is the payoff is the payoff is the payoff, and Leah needs to pay it off. Whether it is now, if they caused a deficiency, they should pay it. But how do we determine that? I think that Leah needs to call her leasing company and say, I disconnected her by mistake if she says anything. She needs to call the leasing company and say, when I logged on this evening, I found this amount. The next day it was, or 4 days later it was this amount. Why? Just ask.
It's the responsibility of the dealer to call in and figure out and find out exactly what the payoff is.
But what if it's after hours, Rolly?
Well, you got the next day then. I mean, that's just the way it is.
But 4 days later, could 4 days have added $300?
No, unless they pick up a whole payment.
I don't think so.
Like that, or
that's what Leah said, that there was another payment that came due in those few days before they got the check. So that's what I'm thinking. She needs to get us paperwork.
Wouldn't it have been prorated? We definitely need to see the paperwork. But they said they would help her figure it out. So Leah, go to them and see if they help you. I don't think they're going to try to rip you off. Go to them and see if they'll figure it out with you, and then let us know what they tell you, okay? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Approval reverse mortgages. Now, reverse mortgages are controversial, and I'll tell you why. Because you live off your equity. And a lot of heirs don't like that because they want you to leave it to them. Now, in some cases, reverse mortgages are not the right idea because they eat up equity. In some cases, they're excellent ideas because you need the money, and if you use it wisely, it's a great way to go without payments. You can just do it to pay off your loan and not have payments and live in your home the rest of your life. You'll never owe more than your home, but you don't jump into it. That's why I trust Joan Sullivan to tell you the truth. ApprovalReverse.com, 303-771-3528.
Only in that case of because there's something wrong with the number of $300.
Yeah.
But if that's on a lease, there's a payoff on a lease, but also there could have been a payment for the lease.
When I'm going to
then the payment of the lease is not prorated.
Did I share this?
Not normally. No.
Yeah, so it would just be that's due
for personal inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It's shared with.
Yeah. If it's 4 days, it might be right up against her late period.
No, I do it too. If I have,
doesn't matter, it's fresh for you.
If something worse, it doesn't. Yeah.
Then that's her fault then, because you already went over. They give you a 2-week grace period.
There's some detail in there that somebody needs to.
Warren Buffett just made $12 billion. Excuse me.
He made another $12 billion
on a clever do. Bank of America doesn't.
Bank of America.
They said Bank of America might jump up their dividend 60% if this stuff goes through.
He exercised his warrants in Bank of America.
Well, you know what? I'd like to see him pay more taxes. I'd like to see him pay more taxes.
He pays. He might pay more taxes than anybody in the world. How's that? He might pay more taxes than anybody in the world.
I was saying that tongue in cheek. I'm just saying that.
Long-term gains is what he pays, so he pays the 15%.
Yep, I'm talking dollar amount. He probably pays more taxes than anybody in the world. I don't care if it's 15%, 90%, he still ultimately pays more taxes than anybody in the world.
That's federal.
Besides me, because I feel like I pay a lot of taxes.
Obama tax long-term gain.
Oh, plus he pays that Obama.
I am so pissed now. They're talking they're not going to do the 3.8%. So you know what? I'll be back to voting for Democrats if that shit doesn't go through, because there's no damn difference. There's no damn difference, I'm learning.
3.8% of what?
And the Democrats don't come out calling some lady's face every other day.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your perception.
Of what? Obamacare right now, I sold a building this year. Okay? I had to take huge gains, 3.8% because of Obamacare. Fucking Trump said he was going to get rid of that, and everything he talked about last year, now they're saying they're not going to get rid of that. It's one of the main reasons I was the huge Trump fan. I get punished not only did my health care rise like it's never rose before, okay, and I've got like 2 providers I can choose from, now I don't even get the tax. Now I'm paying more taxes. I'm paying for everybody else's health insurance and my own.
Did you sell it this year?
Yes.
Not last year.
I even waited to do the deal after knowing that I thought Trump was going to win. We were supposed to close it at the beginning of October. So not only did I miss all the extra interest I would have got for 4 months, okay, because I could have closed it there. The only reason I didn't is because of that 3.8% in his big mouth saying that he was going to go ahead and get rid of that because it's not fair, and it isn't fair. So let me tell you, my whole I'm the biggest Trump guy out there until I start hearing this shit.
Consider a reverse mortgage.
Mortgages
are loans that pay you
Oh,
money
that's
by
great.
using the equity in your home.
Stay away from here.
Spouse from possibly losing your home if you pass away.
Seriously, this guy.
I'm not Bill Gates, man. I'm not Bill Gates. He's getting hit with $65,000 in taxes to go pay for something that I already paid for everybody else's shit on. Is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I think you might say, Dr. in terms of the 3.8% is cause and effect of whether or not it was, it has been deleted from the addition of the long-term capital it's all, that's all a part of Obamacare, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that has not been deleted, even though there have been attempts.
But that's the piece that they're talking about.
No, now they're saying now they're going to leave that out. So all they're going to do, here's all they're going to do. Nothing. It's literally Obamacare the second. They're doing nothing.
I know.
And they might not even do that, which is even worse. How about all these people that have literally no one to choose from in another 4 months? So now the Republicans are going to be total dicks and say, you know what, let's just let it die and let the Democrats deal with it.
I know.
That number again, 800-855.
Think about the no support on the Democrats, just like Obamacare, but
the Republicans didn't give them fucking anything 7 years ago either. Who cares?
The same thing.
All of them should be tossed out. We should start with new people.
But Democrats vote as a bloc.
And that's what I thought this guy would be doing. Now I'm just getting irritated. He made a lot of promises he's just not doing. Just like every other politician has ever done in the world. Doesn't matter who they were. How about the original Bush? I will not raise taxes. A lying piece of shit.
No, listen, the thing about Trump is that he really thought he could just order like he does in his company. But the government, because you have some representative in Ohio saying, fuck you, you're not talking to me, you didn't say hi to me in the hallway, and then they hold up the whole thing.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK. We have a esteemed guest with us today, and Rolly Purefoy. We have Kevin Calkin from Puritan Auto Tech. We have Ron Langford from Master Drive. I love Master Drive. It's probably incalculable how many lives are saved by that. And then we have Rolly Purefoy, Purefoy Chevrolet. Speaking about Master Drive, I have a stepson who took Master Drive, and he always is on our case about driving in, is it the gourd? What is that? Where the lines, it's not a median, but they're lines, that solid lines you're not supposed to, when you're merging. Is it called the gore or the gourd? You never heard that expression? He heard it at Master Drive about driving over the lines and merging. You know where there are fake, I call them fake medians. They're lines. They're not medians. They're lines, right? They're not curbs.
You mean prematurely getting out into traffic where you
or driving over those intended divisions, right? But anyway, he also talks about where to hold his hands on the wheel, and he truly follows everything he's learned. I mean, truly, I can see him. He follows everything, the threading of the wheel. He doesn't ride the brakes. I mean, he's just real. You can see it. You can, but and he went there very young. I mean, he went there at 15, I think. 15.
Probably.
Yeah, that's cool. So you can see if you get them young enough, it's better because once they think they know, you've lost them.
I think Ron agrees with this. There's so many passengers behind the steering wheel of cars. It's just nuts.
They're not connected to what they're doing, etc. Just real quick in regard to your comment relative to hand position. Do you think hand position is important on a golf club?
Yes.
Or do you think hand position is important?
It's everything.
Yeah. And if
I'll
your
be honest,
hands are out of control
you're right.
in a
I've
crisis,
never thought of it. But
your car's out of control.
You guys, really, when I am a mess when I look at what they do. I mean, because I don't have a system. I've tried since I've been there, but they are really meticulous about small things. They take driving very seriously. It's not, like you said, Rolly, it's not being a passenger behind the wheel. It's truly being in control.
Sure it is.
But a lot of people don't take it seriously.
And like Ron just said, your hand placement on the steering wheel, especially when you get into higher levels of performance driving and stuff, it's everything. You know, and to have relatively quiet hands and not all over the place and in proper positioning, so you have leverage with the steering wheel and can take it where you need to instead of trying to. People have got their hand on the bottom of their wheel or on the top of the wheel. They're in trouble. They don't even know it.
A lot of men, by the way, you know, droop the wrist over the top of the steering wheel, and man, I mean, they are cool, right?
Do you know how many women I've seen putting makeup on?
Oh, don't.
I have.
Say that.
No, I'm really serious. I have. Now, do I see men doing stupid things? Not like putting on makeup, but, you know, I don't know. I mean, I've seen more young women and women distracted than I have men. That's my observation when I'm looking around.
You know
Suzanne?
what I see men doing?
What?
They're watching their little shows. They're binging on Netflix on their phones and stuff while driving.
You've never seen that.
I actually have, Tom. I have.
You've seen it. Now,
Allie has too.
I will tell. How do you actually see it? Into the cockpit, you can see them?
Yeah, if you're sitting next to them, you can see their phone up on the dash watching a show.
I listen. I'm not going to. I do not watch it, but I do listen because I don't have anywhere to put my phone. But I put my, and I wouldn't watch it anyway. But I plug in. I listen to shows or books on tape or stuff all the time. Now, but that does distract you, doesn't it? Ron, how do you feel about listening? Okay, not watching, but listening. Is it distracting?
Well, let's, you know,
what do you think?
You have to define it in terms of the sensory input, okay? Auditory input is one source of input into the brain. Auditory, I can listen to something as long as I'm, quote-unquote, just listening and not totally focused on what that is. Now, the minute I put my focus on it, that is, the primary attention of my brain is on the listening, now I've got a problem. Now, we translate that to visual input. Now, I mean, visual input is kind of a high quality source of income while you're driving.
So you are saying even listening can distract you?
It can for some people. We have done over the years. We do a lot of training for, as an example, law enforcement. Okay.
Okay.
Multitasking gets to be a major issue in regard to law enforcement because you're driving, you've got visual, you're driving at speed, you may be in a pursuit situation, etc., but you're also listening to, and by the way, communicating verbally in regard, you know, over the radio, etc., so, or phone.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you've got more of that programmed, it's like in a race car. I mean, you go watch a Formula One race car, you know, those guys are programmed. They can carry on a conversation because it's programmed. That is, they can do multitasking because they don't have to think about it.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and you're a pilot, you know.
So it's always best to have all your attention on any task you're doing, if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course,
best,
especially driving, because visual information is a primary source of information.
Okay.
You know, I was watching a patrolman the other day. I thought it was actually a sheriff going down the road. I was just right on his three-quarter behind him. But this guy's, the whole time he's driving, he's messing with an onboard computer that's mounted up over here. So what's the difference between doing that and texting or whatever? Now, I just thought that was kind of ironic.
Well, it's bad if the person has not been programmed. I'm talking about neuron patterning in the brain to do it without thinking about it.
Right.
Well, if you can do that, then you can do multitasking.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's still better not to.
Critically.
Did we call this
driving.
fencing company for Tabitha? Did we get them on the line? Anyone? Can you? Okay. I think they're still trying. Norris, what's going on with you, Norris?
Hi.
Hey, what's happening?
Well, I've got a 13 GMC Sierra, and I drive out in the country a lot, in pastures, various things. Every time I turn on the air conditioner or ventilation system, I get dust in the vehicle. And I was wondering if there's some way to clean out the ventilation system.
Now, do you get dust only when you're in the fields? Like, does it suck in the environment, or is it coming from the system because it's dirty?
It's coming from the system. I mean, like if I park my truck in the driveway and I come out in the morning and turn it on, you can smell the dust.
Yeah, you have to. They have cabin filters.
Cabin air filter.
Yeah, exactly.
You can change.
There's no filter in this 13.
Are you sure?
Should be.
I think they all have cabin filters.
Well, some do and some don't.
No?
Yeah, it's kind of
okay, where they don't have a filter, what do they have, Kevin?
Nothing to filter it. It's just it's an open system.
Now, do you do that? Al Aramis always talks about just cleaning the whole system. He has a flush, but that's the internal. But he also said something about cleaning the external parts for the ducts and stuff. Can you do that?
Sure. And
there's a spray he
runs
through
back in the field, though, it's just going to keep coming back.
Right.
There's no way to prevent it.
Well, sure, but I mean, I'll bet you he's just built up a bunch. And Al, I thought, talked about some spray or vapor.
There's all kinds of different products. You actually drill a hole in the box, and you can flush it through.
Norris, where are you located? Oh, I'm sorry. This is Norris. Okay. I thought it was about a Kia, but you said it was a Sierra, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm sorry, they wrote it down wrong. Okay, so, Kevin and at Sheridan Auto Tech, if you look on the referral list at referrallist.com, also Al Aramis at Pro Auto Care, they clean ventilation systems. Now, like he said, he doesn't know what will happen once you go back into the field. I want to ask a stupid question. Can you retrofit a cabin filter? I don't think you can you? It would be weird.
That'd be hard to do, yeah.
And are you sure there's no cabin filter?
I was trying to look it up.
Yeah, we're trying to... Norris, did someone tell you that? Did you actually look it up?
Yeah, I asked the tech at the dealer where I have it serviced.
Okay, then they don't, because they would love to sell you one. I never thought of that. If anyone has a solution, but Norris, I would at least start cleaning it out. I just think that you have an overabundance of dust and dirt, and I think that would be it. Pamela, go ahead. What's going on now? Can someone tell me what this is about? It's marked as a follow-up. Suzanne, do you have the background details on this? I don't know. Okay. Pamela, apparently you've talked to us before.
Yes.
And what was the problem? I'll remember it once you tell me about it.
Oh, sure. I had a car that I had a mobile tech attempt to repair. He had it for a year.
Oh, yes. Oh, this was a crazy one. I want to give you more time. Hold on, and we'll come right back to you. Yeah, this one was wild. This guy's crazy. And
he was an independent contractor for CDOT.
Oh, no, that's right. This guy was crazy. We're going to talk about it coming up. I just want to remind you, Rocky's Autos is open. They are open Monday and Tuesday. Used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They're open Saturday, too. So on Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, they're firing up a grill at noon. So you can stop by and have lunch on Rocky's. And also, they're open till 8, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, including this Saturday, tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday. So they are open on the 4th. And they know what independence means because they are independent. They don't carry just one brand. They carry them all makes, models, and colors, varieties, and price ranges. 40 lenders to choose from. Celebrate the extended weekend with Rockies. 303-426-4646, 63rd and Federal.
They sell them anyway.
There is one in that truck somewhere.
Okay, you didn't get the number for that truck guy that just called the Kia, right? Or you said it was Kia, the GMC. I hope he's still listening.
I wouldn't go back to that same
surprised, but Ford doesn't have one. 2011 F-150 doesn't have an air filter, cabin air filter.
I think most of pretty much everything we have GM now.
I thought most everything
got air filters in there.
I wouldn't know why they wouldn't have filters. It's one extra thing to sell for it.
They really do help.
Oh, I agree.
I pulled some on that because they're like, I'm not getting the air.
The bugs in them and stuff.
Pull it out, it weighs 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, we take things to the shop on trade-ins and stuff like that, and anymore we see so much stuff that's 100,000 plus, once we take it to our shop, we look at all that stuff, and I've seen some air filters that it's just incredible.
Yeah. It's like cat
even engine air filters and stuff too. I mean, people just don't get it.
Well, some of those cabin filters are hard to get at.
Yeah.
But most of them are very, very simple.
Right off the glove compartment.
The early model ones you had to do a little bit. The newer ones are
pretty.
The engineering gets better, and all that serviceability.
This one here with the Sierra was like $45. I see in there.
Well, they vary in price. I mean, there's you can get them scented. You can get them antimicrobial, carbon without. There's all kinds of stuff.
Varsity.
Yeah, I mean, if you think the activated charcoal keep odors and everything at bay. Because that is an expensive filter.
Or request your appointment at Your Money, Your Retirement.
Ron, back when you were racing, what were your campaign? What kind of car?
Mostly for Porsche. But I drove some 24-hour races in Mitsubishi, drove a little bit endurance racing in Nissan.
So, I want to tell you, this is like clockwork. I start feeling a little tired and draggy lately, and I'm thinking, what is going on with me? Nothing's changed. Sure as shit, it's coming up on 4 months.
Oh, for your pellet?
For my pellet, and I honest to God, I can feel it. It's like that's how, because I knew nothing else changed. I thought, I wonder what's going on. And then Stephanie says, you know, hasn't it been a while since you had the hormone therapy? And I said, And I called them today, and they said, you're due. So,
I'm sorry, what therapy?
Just a testosterone pellet.
Oh, okay.
They're pellets. They're little like grains of rice that they put in the fatty part of your hip, and then they secrete over time, so you don't have to do shots or creams. But in addition to that, BioT does a lot more. They do a lot more. They do estrogen, and they do progesterone, they do hormone treatment for the thyroid and other things. But I didn't need any of those. I just... But in any case...
Do you get a blood test every time you have to re-pellet, or...?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Here's what I do. Not before every time. After every time.
Oh, okay.
They adjust it according to it. I get one mid-span.
How do they adjust once it's in? Just with different medication?
Oh, no. If they put in too much, they never put in too much. They usually have to put in a little more. If it goes a little high, it's not bad. It'll just even out. But that's how they adjust it. The more pellets they do. So in the beginning, when I first did it, they just put in a few, and then 2 weeks later a test. Then adjust it again. And then after that, your body really doesn't change.
Just maintain it.
They make you 5 days out.
You dodge the bullet
before you get it done again.
10% of the size.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. I told you I usually don't.
Dodge.
I usually don't short unless if I'm just positive, man. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
An article? Was that an article I showed you?
It wasn't just that one. It was some other ones. Their outlook in the U.S. though is horrible.
It's about.
But remember that other
all
article?
emerging markets.
Remember that other article you showed me? Says sell all your Nike. Remember that one? Roughly about the same time. That's a huge jump.
I do it 3 times.
Nike, they just came out with their earnings, and it looked like,
5 times?
I don't know how they were doing,
okay, yeah, that's
they just started doing
4 to 6.
Amazon direct Amazon marketing. And that's
Sounds like you
anybody starts
Unbelievable.
Yes, it is cheaper in the store, but the huge amount of shoes.
Tom Martino here. It's car day, so
I want to tell you about Flexident. You really, really, really want paintless dent repair on every place you can have it. Even if it's not hail damage, no matter what damage it is, if you have damage and your paint's not involved, paintless dent repair. And Flexident is the place to go. They've been with us for years on the referral list. We have rave reviews. They have multiple locations. And Nick, the owner, 40 years experience himself as a master certified paintless dent repair guy. It's just the way to go. Even if you have mixed damage, they can take part of the paintless, and for the same deductible, you can then go get the rest of it done. But under no circumstances, by the way, when you have damage, let anyone drill and fill your car ever. You either get a new part or you do paintless dent repair. Drilling and filling, never, never, ever, ever on a new car. I mean, if you have an old piece of garbage, who cares, right? 303-619-6273, flexidentcolorado.com. Here's that number again, 303-619-6273. So Pamela's going to tell us, this guy, Mark, you had a field day with this guy. He really bugged you for some reason. This guy was Quick Wrench Mobile guy, and he did, how much did he charge you, Pamela?
About $2,200.
Did we put him on the Sleaze Brigade? I don't know, Mark. Was he on $2,200? What did he do for $2,200?
Essentially, he kept my car for a year and
1 year. What What excuse did he have for keeping your car 1 year? Didn't he have it parked one place, then moved it to another place? Mark, that's not the one you went out.
That was another guy.
Because Mark had to go out and rescue one. He literally went out with our tow company. And
that was it. You towed that one out, Mark. Yeah, right.
Oh, that was yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That is that same
Pamela,
dirtbag.
you're the one where he threatened to keep your car unless you paid.
Yes. And he wanted to charge me even more, like for storage.
And we went out and got it. Or I say we. Mark spearheaded that, too. So, Mark,
what happened?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd take a chance. I went on your referral list. I called Sheridan Auto Tech, talked to Joe and Kevin a couple of times, and they worked with me and explained everything to me. And within 6 days, they got my car fixed.
Oh, my goodness. What was wrong with it, Kevin? Do you remember?
Well, the motor was locked up.
Wow, that's serious.
It was serious.
Well, how'd you fix it?
Marvel's mystery oil.
Yeah, it's just magic. We found a good used motor. We worked within her budget. And smart, she wanted to replace the transmission while it was all out.
Good.
Because of the miles on the car and so forth.
So, what did this guy do to the car when he
Very
had
little.
It? Very little.
He pulled the intake off. And
Are we trying to get your money back, Pamela? Did you file a small claim?
Well, I did get the money back that I spent, or that I gave him.
How did we get that money back?
He gave it back after we turned up the heat.
Yes, you guys turned up the heat several times, and he finally...
I'm still waiting for her to buy us lunch.
I'm really happy. I know that. We're just kidding, Pamela. But
thank you. No, I do. I owe you guys lunch.
I am so happy, though. Seriously, I really am happy that this has a happy ending. This is what we want.
How much was it? Did you put a used transmission in?
Yeah, used motor and tranny.
How much does that cost? I'm just curious.
I can't remember the exact, between $5,000 and $6,000, I think, is the total ticket, you know. With a good warranty, 12 months, 12,000.
Well, that's good. That's good, Pamela. So you got a car that'll last you for years and years. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pamela.
Now, this Vincent Torres, this is the bad news guy, Rolly. She hires Vincent to do a roof, this woman, this disabled woman. I think she's disabled, or she seems disabled. She's very helpless. No,
you're mixing them up with scumbag number 2.
No, I hate to call it, but this other woman, she seems a bit... Oh, she elderly?
No, I met with her. She's
she's
young.
on the ball?
Oh, yeah, she's young.
Then why did I feel... Okay, okay.
I think you're thinking of the other woman.
No, this woman sounded challenged to me. I'm sorry, but okay. She hires a guy. She's leaving the country.
Yep. She was going on I think, a honeymoon or something with her husband for a month.
She gives the guy permission to store tools in the house.
Yep.
Not only does he store tools, they strip the house of copper, piping, fixtures. Strip the house.
Yeah, I got pictures where, like, right where a chandelier was, there's now a hole in the wall.
Then he rented the place out and collected rent. And to fix the siding, what did he do, Mark?
He took siding from the back of the house under the eave and put it on the front where the damage was. We saw this. We couldn't believe it.
Now he's suing her for the rest of the money.
Counter-suing because she sued him.
But we're going to go after him. But Vincent Torres, if you want to void this number, 303-246-1117. 303-246-1117. We have a lot more to go.
Are you taking Viagra for ED? Well, no.
He hired a good attorney, a good law firm.
I think he paid to write a letter.
Well, here's what happened. I think she sued him in small claims. I think he hired an attorney to convince the judge.
I think he doesn't have the appetite to go all the way, so we're going to take it.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to kick his ass. He's such a dick.
The bad thing about it, he's only been...
Okay, I got a question. Our show is far and wide. I'm getting a question live on Quora. Do you know what Quora is? Quora is a major forum for questions and answers. And my membership popped up and it says, can you answer this? What should I do if I still didn't get a title of a used car bought from a dealer 2 months ago? He doesn't say what state he's in.
Depends what state.
But most states probably have title laws, don't you think?
We do here, but there's no teeth in them. I mean, at some point...
Oh, no, they'll take the dealer's license. No, that's a serious offense. That's the one time they get serious, right? Rolling non-delivery of title. They get very serious.
Yeah, but they're supposed to do it within 30 days. The last one I bought from Shortline, because of all the hail damage and new sales, it took them 90 days. Are you saying after 90 days I could have had Shortline give it back because DMV can't process the paperwork quick enough?
Probably.
Okay.
Well,
there'd be a lot of fucked up deals.
State 2 and the titles get screwy from one state to another.
They just kept giving DMV told me they're so far behind I'd still have to wait.
Well, the state's probably making an allowance for that. I don't know.
Yeah, you would think so.
You want them to run single payer health.
He went down to DMV on one of his new cars not long ago. Stayed there 3-4 hours, and then they closed the door and made everybody leave because
because they couldn't get to him.
After he was already waiting.
They don't wait.
I'd be so
You're there, and there's a line, and then it's coming up on closing. They say, bye.
See ya. It's not like they close the door at 6. They kick everybody out.
Well, they close the door at 3 o'clock. Everybody in gets served. Yeah.
Post office the same way.
Was that about, I don't know, 50, 60 days ago?
Yeah, actually it was.
Why? How? Why do you know that?
And now they have a little kiosk thing.
No, part of the problem was they totally switched over all their computer database programming, and it didn't work. We had major problems with it because you can't track the process of kids, etc.
But what's that got to do with when, closing time comes, everybody then been there for 5 hours,
but
they kick out.
It's all backlogged.
Yeah.
Everything back. I know people that had the same thing, by the way. That's why I was asking.
The transporter plates and different things we use them to pick up dealer cars and stuff. State at Pierce and Colfax. It's the only place you can renew them. They did the exact same thing 2 years ago in a new program. Stood there for 4 hours. I
felt like 4 years.
No, I left and came back.
30 to 60 days.
And they finally said they're not going to. So we had to come back 3 days later. And 2 of the plates that I registered on the new system and everything else were registered to somebody else. So when I went to renew them the following year,
it was someone
else.
else.
They're like, we can't renew this. This isn't your plate, so you need to buy a new one.
But it was all their fault.
I had the registration, everything.
Crazy. So what'd they do?
Person sat behind the desk.
They almost asked me to leave because it was one of those moments where it was like $10, and I was just, I ain't paying it.
Yeah, it was all per you.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like, it took me 12 hours to get this done 2 years ago.
And now they want $10.
And now you want, and now you want.
That's where you drew the line.
Oh, it's just, yeah. So
Drew and Mark already did the promos. Drew wants to know, do you want to keep those, or would you like to do your own for Wednesday?
System, and nothing.
The thing is, Drew has to leave right after the show today, so they have to
he made me do it so he could.
Yeah, it said Mark did great. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
The process of permit.
What did I hear? I had such a good thing I wanted to tell you. I got to think about it.
Mark, I got to talk to you
Put it
about
all back into our
I found out a lot of
And I'll tell you what.
I should have a bid late. Yeah, we're on. I should have a bid late tonight on that.
I've got to tell you stuff that will blow your mind.
I do like the new online
Roberts. It's right after the show. Or during a break. Just a couple of things that will blow your mind.
Did you see what I just wrote to Peter?
Yeah.
I got somebody. I'm courting someone heavily, so it's like, I don't, it's whatever. You know how many people we just sent him? That just irritates the shit out of me. It really does. I know it doesn't bother you, but it irritates the shit out of me.
You know what I mean?
Even the endorsement part I can understand. Fine, do it, but to pull from...
I get it, but I mean, I assume that...
I bet we sent him 20 hot leads. Now, if his people can't close them, how the hell is that anything to do with anything? If I send you 20 people, and you can't sell them a car, is that my fault?
Tino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being around.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255, here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, and make your life a little easier. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, a huge audience around the country on iHeart, and our show is also downloaded heavily. We have a new referral list, new facelift on that. It's beautiful. I urge you to see it. And we're just rocking and rolling. We'll soon have a new Troubleshooter.com site as well. Don't forget SleazeBrigade.com for a list of all the sleaze buckets. Now, we don't just put ordinary sleaze buckets up there. These are the repeat big offenders. If you just offend a couple times, you're not going to make it.
Oh! You
Yes.
made me think of something.
Yes.
Kalen Eccles, Sleaze Brigade.
What about him?
Update.
What's the update?
The update.
Now, just for those listening, we have a lot of new people to the show. Kaylin Eccles was a roofer who, when the guy complained about the roof
and the paint,
he said the guy was complaining because his wife was having sex with Kaylin, and he was jealous.
We don't make this up.
And he put it, and as he said on the air, his wife was going after him like a bulldog to a bone. And anyway, and said that. And then he said all kinds of crazy stuff, went online, put up reviews, answers to reviews saying that the woman wanted him and the husband is jealous. The guy was crazy. And then he did, I will say, he did court us a couple times saying, I'm changing. You know, my life's changing or something. I don't know.
But remember, the last call we had was probably a month ago. The guy called up, said, hey, I hired this guy just for this little bit, $250 worth of work. He never showed up. He never did anything. Okay, what's the update? Well, remember this. Kaylin came on the air and took a beating like he usually does and says, not only, you know, am I going to give him all his money back, but I'm going to give him a gift card to $250. That's right. And I said, yeah, okay, well, I'll drop over dead when I see Kaylin buy a gift card. So I get an email from the guy. Guess what?
He bought a gift card?
He bought him a gift card.
Really?
So I had to say the good news, too. Kaylin said he was turning over a new leaf.
Wow, that's great. But let's take it one step
now,
at a time.
I'm just curious if the gift card was the gift card might have only been good to Legacy Roofing and Construction, his company. I don't know.
Now, that reminds me of the scam that they used to have. This scam said, win a free credit card with a $500 credit limit, and the credit card was to their online store. And you had to spend $500 to get the $500, and obviously everything was overpriced. It was a scam, but people thought, well, I'm getting a credit card. You know, I can't keep track of all the scams I've heard over my career. Unbelievable. Now, we do have lines open. Here's the good news. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. We have our third hour of the show, our final hour before the holiday weekend. Get your calls in truly and tell us what is on your mind. Let's help you solve some problems before the weekend.
Tom, by the way, the guy with the 2013 GMC, he does have a cabin air filter in that.
I hope he's listening. The guy who called about his dusty cabin, there is an air filter. They looked it up. And that dealer guy who said there's no air filter, he's wrong. He's flat wrong. So you should check out Purifoy. They work on those GMCs. Of course, I don't know where you are. Go on the referral list. We got Kevin here from Sheridan Auto Tech. Kevin, where exactly are your two locations?
We're in Lakewood and Aurora. It's 3 blocks west of Wadsworth on Colfax in Lakewood, and then second in Havana, just north of Alameda in Havana.
Okay.
Hey, Rolly, under the Chevy umbrella, you can't sell Cadillacs yet unless you have, like, a Cadillac delership. Is that correct?
That's right.
Is it the same with vets, or if you own a Chevy dealership, you can sell vets?
Yeah, but you've got to get qualified to do that.
Okay.
You know, you just can't hang up your shingle. They've gotten a little bit lax about it, but normally there's all the certain tools and all that
can you
have to buy. And
do you do dealer trades with other General Motor brands?
Yeah, we have done that, lots of that over the years. Buick, Cadillac, a lot of Cadillacs.
Dealer trades.
Basically, we go and buy them and resell them.
Yeah, yeah. So you're buying from the other dealer.
Right.
Yeah. Do they normally sell it across for what they paid, or do they mark them up?
Depends on what the vehicle is. Sometimes you have to give a little bit more. Sometimes it's invoice. Sometimes it's a little bit back of invoice.
Do you still have those brand new 16s you were telling me about? The two vets?
I do. I don't know. He was
doing them like it cost.
We did some Corvette business this week and everything, but those are two really exceptional values. I don't really get it. I don't understand.
They look exactly like a 17, right?
They are 17s.
No,
yeah, I mean, they look like the C7 is all. They all
no, but it's
a
2016 model year, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but they're brand new cars.
They're new, so they are, like you said, they're exactly the same.
Yeah, they're more than 10 grand back of stickers, so I mean it's a deal.
Back really of sticker is. Or invoice? Back of sticker.
Well, I couldn't get. I mean, you go broke going 10 grand back of invoice.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, you're going to go broke.
Right.
But I mean, we've taken everything out of these two cars. I just wanted to dispose of them, and there's nothing. You see these cars; they're beautiful. They're both of them are great cars. There's nothing weird about them or anything like that. So. To me, it's like help yourself. One's black and one's a
silver,
gray silver color.
I don't like silvers. I think they're boring.
Oh, these are gorgeous.
I don't
cars.
mean that. I
like that metallic kind of silver.
I have that silver I got in that one car, and I was disappointed. it just blends in. It really does. I don't.
That could be a good thing for you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's go to Yolanda, who's waited. And Dave, please hang on. I'll get to you in a minute here. We got lines open. You can get right through 303-713-TALK. Let's talk about what I call Excel's Home Stupid program. They call it Excel's Home Smart program.
Remember that time I went out after they said there was no problems with that guy's furnace? The exchanger was toast.
They went one step further. They told this woman that Plumline Services was trying to cheat them. They literally said that, and Plumline was pissed. And they said, let's tear this furnace apart, literally, and have an independent expert look at it.
Explain to people why, though, because they don't understand. If you're part of home services, they're supposed to replace this stuff if it breaks under their plant.
Right.
So they told them there was no problem with it, so they wouldn't have to replace it.
So, Yolanda, so with their home, in this particular case, they said, ma'am, you don't have a bad furnace. We don't have to replace it. We don't have to do anything to it. And Plumline said, oh, yeah, you do. So here's what they did. And this really pissed me off because they didn't have to. Plumline took it apart. How many cracks were in it? You were overseeing this.
Oh, 18? God, I remember I brought it back to the
18?
office. I had no idea how heavy this was. More than 18.
This heat exchanger was toast. And these jerks at Excel Home Services would have killed that woman.
Now, wait, don't forget to tell everybody this, too. We also had an independent person that had nothing to do with either company that is a expert with heat exchangers. Look at it, and he's the one we went with on the report with all the cracks.
Ellis Pratt, wasn't it?
You can to keep him quiet.
Anyway, what happened with you, Yolanda?
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, what happened?
We had a mini split system put into our home.
Now, for those listening, a mini split is an air conditioning system where they put the compressor and stuff in a remote location, and then they run the tubes to a wall unit, and it's really quite nice if you don't have central air.
Yeah, we don't have ductwork in our house because we're a strictly electric
so what happened?
home.
What happened?
Well, this project started back in May of 2016. And to make a long story short, we have had nothing but issues with Excel Home Smart. And basically
who put the unit in, Yolanda? Who put the unit in?
It was Excel Home Smart's, I guess, their division, the Excel Energy Home Smart division. It was just the guys that they send out that, honestly, they'd never installed a mini split before. They even told us that.
Why did you go with them?
Well, we went with Excel. We did check out Apple Air. We went with Excel, just thinking, Excel Energy is a well-known company. So we thought, there
God, Todd would have killed the price. He would have killed everything. He owns Apple Air. You made a mistake there.
Well, we actually did have Todd come out just this last maybe 6 months ago.
And Apple Air's on our referral list. We're a little biased.
Yeah.
So what happened then?
Yeah. Well, we did talk to him, and he did say, obviously, they did take shortcuts in trying to put the system in.
Okay, so what's wrong with it? Let's just get right to it. What's wrong with it?
Well, I just need some advice because they have given us the option because we've been going with this problem now for a year of just back
What did you pay for this unit?
We have they have 100% satisfaction guarantee.
How much did you pay?
Satisfaction. We have not signed anything on the contract.
Good.
We refused.
Good. So here's what I want to know. Please try to tell me what's wrong with it.
Okay, so what I would like to do, they've given us the option
What's
to
wrong
go
with
ahead
it?
and well, the pumps, number one, the pumps are ridiculous. They were supposed to put the heads on outdoor or outside walls, which they put on interior walls. So they had to put in indoor, like they had to put
it's loud.
Pumps that are in the inside, yes. Every 5 to 10 minutes that these pumps run, ridiculous.
It vibrates the wall?
Well, and they're meant to be installed outside, I think.
Absolutely, and they should have been put on an exterior wall, which they never did. They
does
put on
the interior? Does the fact that it's on an interior wall affect its performance?
Well, for the pumps, it does, because the pumps should not be. They could have installed the pumps up in the attic.
Yeah,
they just decided not to do it.
Okay, so anyway, what else? What else? That's good. Tell me what else.
It also never passed our inspection within our city, so that was one other issue that obviously needed to be...
Folks, this is Excel Energy, by the way.
Why didn't it pass inspection?
It's part of our breaker is when they installed the new breaker on the breaker box for the system, it was undersized.
Okay, what else? Well, that's easy to fix, though. Did they fix that?
No, they haven't done it. The whole thing is we finally, after a year, back and forth with talking to 15 different people, got in contact with one of the head guys.
What did they offer?
He offered to basically, this was over 2 weeks ago. He said, I can come in here and I can look at it for you guys and see if maybe there's anything I can do. Or he did offer to go ahead and just write off the entire project for us.
Okay, hold on. How much would this project be?
The estimate was just about $7,500.
Okay, listen, here's what I want you to do. You tell me they will write it off, give it to you free, right?
That's what they're saying.
Well, go ahead. Well, how do you lose there? And then let Brett...
What's your question for us?
Let Todd Terry come in and correct it. You have a lot of money to work with.
That's what we were planning on doing, but I just wanted to check with you guys to see, can they come back at us later on for any liens on our house?
Not if they write paid in full or settlement.
And
get it in writing.
Okay, because we haven't signed anything as well, which I know...
Can you believe, though, Tom, it took them... We're 15 months from when this started with her, and it's not done. That's like, I don't even know how that's possible.
You know what?
Well, and he hasn't even called us back in over 2 weeks. That's why we're finally fed up and done, and we're ready just to tell him, get rid of it.
The answer is do it. Mike, what is your comment? Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to agree with you. I hate silver-colored vehicles.
They are bland, aren't they? They're bland.
Oh, my... Well, I'll tell you what. I call them the Nazi color SS. The first S I can't say on the air.
Okay. Silver, right.
And, yeah.
Crap silver, basically.
And they're as common as pig S. Does everybody have?
I don't like to. I totally agree. And by the way, Dave is off right now, but he wanted to give kudos to Purifoy, right? He said he had a wonderful experience. I'm sorry, Rolly, he did not hold. But in any case, that's that.
Yeah, that guy really hates silver, though. That's crazy.
Brent Ivinson from Ideal Home Loans. What if you're planning to buy later in the year, Brent?
Well, Tom, I would tell you to move that timeline up, and here's why. When we see rates move into the high threes like we have, and they're starting to get pressure to move higher, you now qualify for more homes thanks to lower interest rates. Other thing to keep in mind is you wait, home values are continuing to go up. We're in one of the hottest real estate markets in the country. You don't want to wait. Waiting is only going to get more expensive, not only on the home sale price, but also on the interest rate front as well.
And that is good planning to do it when you can get the most house. Because even though you have the interest rate guarantee, Brent, and that means they will refinance you free of all lender charges, even though you get that, you still can't qualify for the home now. So what he's saying is, if you have lower rates, you will qualify for more home, and you should not put it off, because prices are likely to go up, and if rates go up, you have a bad combination. So call Ideal if you're even thinking about it, and they'll discuss it with you. 303-867-7000, 867-7000, idealhomeloans.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Let's start off with the good news. They've cleared that light rail car crash at Park Avenue in Welton downtown, so that's good news there. Light rail service should be up.
What are we talking about? NVIDIA to launch graphic cards specifically designed for digital currency mining.
Oh, did you see that, who's the guy that is on Shark Tank, owns the Dallas Mavericks? Mark. What about him? He's going to jump into another Bitcoin-like, another cryptocurrency. They're going to start another one.
Oh, and you're not going to like this one either.
No, are you telling me all these cryptocurrencies? Why don't you guys start a cryptocurrency?
We do. I have one. I can't tell you about it. But if you give me dollars, if you give me U.S. dollars, I'll convert it into major money.
Major money. That'd be a good one.
I'll give you 18,000 major money for $800.
I like that one. Major money.
And then I'll give you a list of people that take my major currency.
By the way, the conversion is current.
So,
I think I'd rather...
My son will come over and mow your lawn.
It's kind of like baseball cards. You know, you say, well, it's what people invest in. Look at it, the baseball card scam. How that went way on. That was actually a physical thing.
Cabbage Patch or Cabbage Patch Kids or anything.
There you go. There's nothing. There is nothing that's based on it.
People argue there's nothing our dollar's based on. It used to be a gold standard.
Even Venezuela is very based on something. Right, barely, but it's based on their country.
My God, they've got gangs running over, killing people over there right now.
Based on bullets.
Chris Rock said, you know, you really want to get rid of gun violence. You can give everybody the gun, but you charge like $8,000 for bullets. Because if you want to do a drive-by, you're going to really have to hate that guy in order to spend $8,000 on a bullet.
Is this that? It's like the screen. Is he bullet worthy?
Is he bullet worthy?
Is he sponge worthy?
That's right. Is he bullet worthy? I don't know. He really did. He might have shot my buddy, but was my buddy worth $8,000? I don't know.
University and C470, fitnessgallery.com. Fitness Gallery, getting color
Yep.
shape since 19...
Mark Cuban, who just called Bitcoin a bubble, says he plans to invest in another digital coin.
Colors for 2016 that are incredible, in stock and ready.
I wonder which one he's going to.
It's called Cuban currency.
Cuban currency.
I like major money.
We are on Eastern time, noon to 3.
And see our new inventory now. We will save you a bunch of concrete lift here in 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Online at buyandbuild.net. You will be thrilled with the thousands you save at Buy and Build.
If you want to have your concrete problems solved, you first have to find out what's wrong with your concrete. If you go out there and you see a big crack across the driveway or a slab or a patio or your stairs or your porch, or you have other things happening like a corner of it is sinking or it's heaving, it's coming up out of the ground, or something is wrong with it, get it analyzed free of charge by Concrete Lift and Stabilization. Now, Devin Johns makes his living stabilizing concrete, lifting concrete, and, you know, obviously, if it's a job he can do, he'll let you know and he'll give you a price. But he's an expert at analyzing and diagnosing these problems. So no matter what, you call him, he'll come out and look at it. And if lifting will help, if his stabilization methods will help, then he'll recommend it. And you can trust him too. And he does both the polyjacking, which is a plastic polymer fill, or mud jacking, which is really concrete. And so he has special equipment that can get down underneath the concrete or through the concrete through tiny access holes, which does almost magic in stabilizing it and lifting it. And then it can be patched, it can be paved, it can be covered or painted. It's unbelievable. But first, it all starts with a phone call to Devin to analyze it. 720-890-2740. 720-890-2740. His website, he's on the referral list, by the way, but his website is concretelift.com.
Talking about politics. Talking about life.
I think you only live once. And maybe the Hindus are right and all.
Bless you.
Yeah, Mark, I was going to buy Nike. You turned me away from that. It's up 11% now today.
You should have bought it. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Okay, we got a lot going on, and we do have lines open for the first time. Maybe people are starting their holiday early. It just all of a sudden the calls dropped. But seriously, if you have a problem, question, or complaint, or you just want to rant, hey, you know what? Let's do that too. I'm going to give you. Oh, I love this. You know why I love this? Because people say, Tom, you always interrupt people. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And here's why. Here's why. I have a show, and I have to get to the bottom line, and I know what questions to ask. I promise you this. I promise. I do listen, but I do interrupt. I do listen. I know what you're saying. I listen. I hear what you said, but I sometimes need to move it along, or if what you're talking about is not important to the issue, then I interrupt and I say, wait, just tell me this. And sometimes I don't get the whole story. It's true. Sometimes I do not get the whole story. But after doing this for many, many years, that's very, very, very seldom do I not truly know what they're calling about. So here, the reason I'm saying all of this is I'm going to give not 30 seconds, but 1 full minute for people to get on the air. Because it's a holiday weekend, start of a holiday weekend, you can call and give a speech for 1 minute on anything you want. No vulgarity. That's it. That's all I ask. You can talk about politics. You can talk about religion. You can talk about money. You can talk about a problem. You can rant. You can rave. You can give a plug. 1 full minute goes to you if you ask, okay? Right now, and I won't interrupt, not one interruption, but you can't be vulgar or we're just going to nix the call. What do you think? I think it's a good idea, right? Dan.
And they also should not forget that you're a genius.
Oh, thank you, Rolly. Thank you. Oh, Rolly, you know what? He's talking about a conversation we had one time. We'll tell you about it after Dan. Dan, what's going on?
Hi. My stepmom owns season tickets with the Denver Broncos since 1960. In fact, she has priority number 3.
Oh, my goodness. And they're taking them away.
Right.
I know.
She had a medical condition last year. She sold her tickets, didn't go, and they're taking them away. They didn't give her a warning.
Did she only sell them? Did she... By the way, it's in all of the agreements. We already went through this with a lot of people. But did she only sell them 1 season?
You know, I think she's actually sold them more seasons.
Right.
But she's never received a warning from the Broncos.
They don't warn. You're right. They don't warn.
Mm-hmm. And she always sold them through that exchange, right?
Yes.
See, here's the funny part. They tell them to sell them through the exchange, and they punish them with this. If they just sold them to neighbors for cash, no one would have ever known they weren't the ones going. It's the oddest thing in the world. They literally have been punishing people for selling them the way they tell them to sell them. It's odd.
That's right. What they're saying is you have to sell them through us, right?
Yes, you have. Well, you don't have to. Maybe technically you do have to.
But that's the only way they know.
That's the only way they know you've been selling them.
Right.
So if I just sold you my tickets
directly,
yeah,
no one would
pay
know.
Me, or even out front of the stadium,
listen,
you'd still have
Here
them.
was the argument, Dan, so you know. People are very pissed saying, if we have people with season tickets that never go, and they shouldn't have them. They should give a chance to all the new people who want to go.
Well, here's the other big argument is when
and they can sell them for more.
When like the Steelers came either last year or the year before, there was more Steeler fans with their stupid, terrible towers than there was Orange.
But Dan, you understand they don't have to warn you. I mean, it's clearly in the policy, by the way.
Well, I don't know if it is in the policy.
It
think it goes back to 1960.
Well, it is, and you agree each time you get a season. They're renewable each year.
Right.
And so Mark found it one time. Could you find it, Mark? Because I thought you found it one time in the agreement.
Oh, I don't even got to find it. It is cut and dry. It is 100% at their discretion. And it doesn't even if they didn't sell them, they could still do it.
Yes, but they make it clear that if you don't attend the games, you're in danger. So,
and here's what they're doing
Dan,
now.
I don't know what to do about it. Listen, I haven't taken a stand on this. Why do you think it's unfair, Dan? If she doesn't go, why is it unfair?
Well, she couldn't go because she had some medical condition.
But you know as well as I do, she's not going to go. So tell me why it's fair that she keep her tickets.
And she could have gave them to family.
Well, I just think
is she allowed, if she wanted to, can she give them away to you?
I think she has a right to give them away to anybody. Doesn't she have consumer protection laws?
No.
Selling them.
You're not allowed to just give them away. They may require it to go back to them, and then they resell them. Dan, this is not a consumer protection or a consumer right thing. This is they own the rights. They can do what they want. I mean, you don't have a right to go to a Bronco game. It's not some constitutional thing. It's a ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's a privilege. Now, when you buy it, you have certain rights. But here's what I want to know, because I don't know. If she wanted to, let's say she's getting older and she's going to retire, is she allowed to transfer them to you?
Well, I think she is, because actually her dad, my step-grandfather, owned them, and when he passed away, she took them over.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
So you can transfer them?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's good news. I didn't know that. So are you going to fight this? Did you ask them if they would reconsider?
Well, yes. I spoke with, I called, actually, who did I call? I called John Elway, and I called
What did they say?
Ellis,
what did they say?
I'm sorry?
Let's call and see, because we'll get through to somebody. Let's call to see if they ever make exceptions. I don't know if they do.
I don't think the exception would be here, because he's already acknowledged it wasn't just 1 year. I mean, it's been numerous years she sold them.
Yeah.
But Dan, Why do you think she should keep them? I don't have an answer. I'm just wondering, why do you think if she really doesn't go, why should she keep them? Because the family uses them?
Well, even if she sells them, I think that they should give her some kind of warning before they just go to the extreme.
I understand.
You know, their main argument is...
I understand that.
The Broncos' main argument, the organization, is that it gives tickets... It creates tickets to people that are real Broncos fans and want to go. If you own them and you're selling them to whoever you're selling them to, you don't care if they're a different fan.
Let's try to get a comment. Suzanne, can we get an official comment on why they're doing it, what they use as criteria? What do they do? Bob, you have a comment on what, sir? Go ahead.
Hey, Tom, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. What is your comment?
Well, it's on, I heard you had some calls, I guess it was last week, on some concrete contractors and some issues and some problems.
Just concrete? No, yes, but we've had numerous calls on contractors recently with either taking money and doing nothing or taking money up front and doing shoddy work, stuff like that.
Well, just real quick, I've moved from California. I was a licensed contractor for 25 years there.
Yes.
I did work on Mather Air Force, McClellan Air Force, UC Davis College.
Okay.
Shopping centers.
What about it?
And so I come to Colorado and I fill out all their paperwork. I sent them notarized letters from all these people I've worked for, and I got turned down because they said I needed concrete experience to do excavating.
What? Well,
yeah.
I don't know what that means, concrete experience. I've never heard of that for excavation. But in any case, it might be in the category of license you're getting. I don't know.
Yeah,
but what's
two separate things. But anyway, the weird thing is there is no test for anybody applying for a concrete license in Colorado or in Denver.
There is no test?
No test whatsoever.
Well, how do you get it?
You just get Joe Blow to write a letter saying that this guy has experience, he knows how to tie steel.
I don't think that's correct in Colorado. Maybe in certain municipalities. You're saying the entire state?
No. They said there is no state license for concrete.
All right. Did you want to make a specific point, or did you need us to do anything?
Well, I just thought it was kind of strange that there's no test, and I'm still trying to wrestle to find out how I can get licensed.
For excavating?
Yeah.
He's saying he knows how to do all this stuff. He's better than most, and yet he can't do it right now because he doesn't have the license, but any Joe Blow can get the license.
But then why can't he if any Joe Blow can? I don't know. I mean, in other words, you're saying any Joe Blow can do it, but you can't. Why can't you?
Because I don't have the concrete experience.
Okay, but you're saying it takes nothing to get the concrete license.
No test, nothing.
Well, I have to have a letter saying that I know that I've had the last 3 years of concrete experience, which is...
Then get a letter.
No, he's trying to do it legit. He's saying...
What if somebody, Bob, simply wants to do excavating and they never are going to do concrete? Let's say they're building septic systems. You're telling me they can't excavate unless they have concrete experience?
That's what Denver is telling
No,
me.
I don't think so.
That could be in Denver. Denver's got some weird stuff, man.
You know what? This is what I want. I want to ask Denver if it's true. If I want to be an excavator and an excavator only for foundations or whatever, Suzanne, I'd like to know, do we need concrete experience and to what degree? Because I almost find that unbelievable. Unbelievable. 303-713-8255. Let's talk about Art of Granite. I love talking about contractors. Art of Granite is someone who really, I just love telling his story because he inspires me. He truly not started this company with $300, and it was in 2003 he came to America. He wanted the American dream, he said, from Romania, and he did it. Okay, long story short, he's an American citizen, now married, 3 kids, and has this place that does beautiful work. He thought, I'm not going to charge for materials when it comes to the countertops. I'm just going to pass that cost along and only charge for the installation and for the fabrication. I'm even going to tear out and haul away all the old stuff free. And by the way, what you do in the kitchen, he'll do in the bathroom free. Then he went to many manufacturers and got a cabinet distributorship. And for a small markup, you can get cabinets too. So cabinets and countertops. And you can buy the counter material on his account, from him or from anywhere using his wholesale account. artofgranite.net. He does a great job. And the whole process starts with a phone call. He'll give you a preliminary price based on a photo and some measurements. And then when you get closer, if you like that, then you pick out the specific stuff. He will then give you a price that will not change, okay? Including all the 3D rendering and computer-generated plans, everything, okay? 7 days a week. That's what he is, 7 days a week. And he serves the Denver metro area and the mountain communities. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. artofgranite.net.
This report is brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Let's start off with the good news. South of town, northbound
I-25 North Castle Parkway has well, I don't know that. Mark, he's done our mudroom and our upstairs bathroom. It's good, man. Overall, he's got a shitload of stone down there too. I mean, he's got some wise stuff.
And do they make exceptions? Like if someone had health issues or whatever, do they ever make exceptions? That's all I want to ask. Okay.
You know, they must have really did the Broncos tickets this year. This year is where they really, we've had, what, probably a dozen calls on Broncos.
We've had at least 8 of them.
Oh, I've gotten a lot. We don't even more. Right? Oh, they're just ridiculous.
But I don't think they did it last year. I don't remember.
I think they're just now forcing it.
I think it's a very valid argument. There's a lot of people that for, you know, out of 8 seasons have gone to 2 games.
Right, but they
and
should have
there's
warned
people
them.
that would just kill for that.
Yeah, no, but they should have
warn
warned
them. If you warn them, then they're going to sell them off the exchange, and they're not going to be able to track it.
I talked to her, this number 3 one, I talked to her, not the son, and she said they sold it off the channel, because I said, how did they know that you did it? I don't know how they know. So,
I guarantee they don't have people going around going, hot dog, are those your tickets or did you buy them? What's your name?
That's 303-560.
Can they go pass it to the family?
Yes, yes.
Ultimately, what's going to happen, you'll probably walk in there and your ticket will be a virtual ticket on your phone, and it's got to match your ID at some point. That's how they're going to end up doing it.
But if they don't want to go to the game, then why do they want the ticket?
They make a ton of money.
Yeah, they sell them, right?
Well, that's the other reason they're
But you're not supposed to. I mean,
make,
when you have your rights, you're not supposed to do it. That's not why they came up with the rights system.
Well, they were selling the rights for a while. I remember when I first moved here, you could buy
They've
the
been sold
rights.
out for years now.
In the 70s, you could buy rights to tickets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've totally sold out. It's crazy.
But look at the number 3. She was number 3.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, that was her dad. Yeah.
But look at all that. Everybody got to move up that one. If you think number...
Oh, there's people, you know, you live your whole life on the waiting list. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here they're always used to getting that same seat. You know, now.
The Broncos don't want to put all the effort into making a product so somebody else can bank off it. You know.
That's right. You're exactly right.
681-0573. That's 1-800-681-0573.
Stop! It's a holiday weekend, and you know what people do? What do? They drink. And they drink during the day, especially with these cookouts, and they drink at night, and it happens every holiday weekend. Joe Lazara says, Tom, every holiday weekend, there are so many DUIs that right after a holiday I can predict I'm going to be full. My voicemail or my assistant will have calls out the nose. Now, here's the deal. You would think, okay, Joe, that's good for business, but he is saying this. He's got enough business. In fact, even if you're not guilty, he likes to take your business too. So that's not the issue. Here's the issue. There is no reason why you have to get a ticket ever. Here's what you do. Get a designated driver. God, it's so simple. I often wondered, why do people get DUIs? And if you're smoking marijuana, this is really hazy because that's just the opinion of an officer. They don't have to have any test. Whether you're impaired or not, just an opinion. So get a designated driver, or I said Uber, Lyft, taxis, whatever you want. Or just, you know, abstain. Here's the deal. Even if you try to calculate, you can't. I know people say, okay, I'm just going to have a drink. Okay, I guess if you only have one drink, that's fine, right? But how do you know how strong the drink is? And then often people have 2 or 3. Don't mess around. Joe Lazara is there for you, but don't mess around. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Joe is on my referral list at referralist.com.
Now back to the stuff everyone's talking about on 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
So Ron is with Master Drive. Ron Langford. Ron, do you guys do anything when it comes to showing what distraction can do and alcohol and stuff? Do you guys ever do stuff in your training? Obviously, other than saying abstain, don't text, don't read, don't drink. But do you ever have demonstrations? Have you ever?
Well, most of the time, that's what's done. Okay, don't do this.
Don't do that. Right.
Don't text while, et cetera, et cetera. However, one of the things that we do, and your son has been through this, but is a crash avoidance exercise. That is basically, you come down a single lane.
Yes.
And we branch that into 3 lanes with pylons, with cones.
Okay.
At the far end of that, we've got an LED light system on each lane, and we switch that LED light system into 2 reds on 2 of the lanes, meaning that something just happened in those.
And you have to pick the right lane.
You've got to go to the right lane. Okay.
Okay, or the correct lane.
So literally, what you're teaching the brain is it's a basic psychomotor response. But you're teaching the brain to go to one side or another. Now, we use that exercise to give examples.
This is for defensive driving.
Yeah, and we use that exercise to as an example.
Because drunks will come right down and head on.
Well, and that's what happens. Most people, in a crisis, what do most people focus on?
The oncoming car.
They focus on the problem.
Right.
And drive into the problem. Okay.
You're right, actually.
So if you train the eye and train the brain to look for the solution, then crisis happens, you look for the solution, and then you take the car there quickly. And, you know, if you're 0.2 of a second quicker, then you maybe can save your life. So yeah, that distracted driving combined with the ability to respond it's all a part of the same thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The car will go where you look.
It does. Exactly. And a lot of people do. They look at the oncoming car, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But then that delays you turning. You should look away to where you can get safely.
Exactly.
Immediately.
However, you don't learn to do that by somebody telling you to do it.
All right, Paula, what's going on with you, Paula?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm calling in regards to 2 companies I had. I always listen to you when you say get other estimates.
Yeah.
And things.
Yes.
I've had a bug problem in my yard, and so I called a very large company to come out, and they assured me that I had termites for $1,200.
And what company was that?
It was Terminix.
And they said you had termites. Okay, and then what?
Swarming termites.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but...
Well, I guess they look for a place to burrow,
okay.
Then they lose their wings. And then I called another company out that my neighbor had for something, and it was called Beeline Pest Control.
Yeah.
And this guy named Casey came out, and he looked at them, and he caught them, and he looked, and he says, I guarantee these are not termites. And he wasn't real sure what they were, like a large mosquito or something, and he said, He came down, so he sprayed it all. I haven't had a problem for almost 2 weeks now, and they're gone for $100.
Wow! Holy crap! Now, are you sure though you don't have the termites?
I'm positive. We live in brick homes, and so it's not really a problem there.
I'd like to find out about this. We have some pest control experts, right? We have good ones, but we're always looking for good ones. So we probably want to call this guy. Suzanne, why don't you get this Beeline's number and say we heard some good things about him? Paula, thank you for telling us that. You know, can you believe that in one phone call or one visit, she was going to either go with $1,200 and she gets it done for $100? Jan, what's going on with you? Hello, Jan.
Hello, how's it going, Tom?
What's happening?
I've got a problem with it's a Jeep Commander, 2006.
Yes.
And I get a warning on the dash that says service 4-wheel drive system.
Okay, well, obviously that's something. What does it usually mean, Kevin? Kevin Calkin.
Well, you got to start with pulling codes. A lot of times it's steering angle sensors and different all rate sensors in the steering wheel.
You got any idea? I mean, it obviously could be anything, right?
Typically, steering angle sensor is out of adjustment or it's got a problem, needs to be replaced. Typically.
Well, let me tell you something I know about it, just from history. Several years ago, they reflashed the front drive control module. And that's when it started. So, like last year, they had a recall on it, and they reflashed it again, and then it started working. It just won't allow me to put it into a four-wheel drive load. So right after they reflashed it again, it started working.
So it sounds like a software problem to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
thinking.
that's something you could check too, right, Kevin?
Well, yeah, you just start with it will have data, it will have code somewhere to go, to start with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it will absolutely reveal itself in a test. Can you tell though? How would you tell if it's a software problem?
You just got to get through and see what kind of data you're getting. You try to duplicate things and see the reaction from the computer. If it's getting the data it needs and it's not processing, then you can go software.
Jan, why haven't you taken it somewhere?
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of research on the internet, and apparently this is a really common problem that's happened to tons of people.
Yeah.
And what a lot of them have done is they'll pull the fuse on the front drive control module, back the vehicle up and forward, put them back in, and it works for a while.
Okay.
And Chrysler, like, in denial that it's anything to do with theirs.
Well, first of all, manufacturers, I found this to be a running theme, Jan. Manufacturers make you feel like you're the only one with the problem. If you call customer service, oh, we've never heard that before. That is a thing they do to make you feel like, it's not a real problem.
That's with everybody, though. Cable companies will say that on their boxes.
How many times they say, well, we've never heard that before. I don't know why they say it. Now with the internet, it is so easy to find out you're lying. Why do they say that? I've often wondered why. I would call and say, well, I'm having this reaction or this or that. Well, we've never heard that before. Do they want to make you feel stupid? Hey, Don, what's going on with you? Hello, Don.
Hi, Tom.
What's happening? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What's happening?
Question about where to go, starting with you. Second in line, where do I go? I worked some overtime.
Yes.
With my job, and I'm looking at my paycheck stub. Only it's not reflecting my overtime.
We get a lot of calls like this
now.
Olson. Sean Olson, for sure. Was it overtime over 8 hours or overtime over 40 hours?
It was overtime during a 40-hour week. For week 1 of 2 weeks, I had 43.50 hours. When I totaled it up, it did total for the 2-week pay period 80.50. My supervisor said there would be no way they would pay that. They would get in trouble.
Well, how do you figure overtime, doggone it? I get this question all the time. You're thinking it's past 40 or past 8 or past 80? What are you thinking?
They figure it past on the 40, based on the week 1 and week 2.
That's 40-hour work week.
So if you work 2 weeks and it doesn't add up to 80, but you worked overtime the first week, obviously you should be paid overtime, right?
Absolutely. Right. You have to. It's by law.
It's based on the week.
Yeah, that 1 week. Absolutely.
Okay, not 2 weeks. Okay, then why isn't it based on a day? If it's based on a week, why isn't it based on a day if you work 12 hours one day?
Just has to do with the state. As an example,
okay.
in Colorado,
I understand.
It's on a 40-hour work week. We have an operation in Southern California, and it's based upon an 8-hour work day.
Okay, so it depends on the law. Okay,
right here it's 40 hours a week.
All right, I got you. Hold on, because we do have help for you. I mean, we do have people that can help you. Right now, it's really important, speaking of people who can help. Now, John Fuller, he's not going to help with employment, but man, can he help with personal injury. Again, this is a big accident weekend. Unfortunately, a lot of people are on the road. John Fuller at Fuller Law is well-versed in personal injury. That's determining if you have a case, what's the case worth, and where to collect. Those are the primary things he concentrates on. And then you, the person, you won't feel like a number. You won't have a bad situation where he never communicates. John Fuller feels like he's your uncle. He's a great guy. He will always talk to you when you need help. He will always fill you in and communicate with you. You don't feel like you're left in limbo. Here's what's important, okay? He doesn't charge you directly any money at all until you get an award, and then he takes a small percentage. It's that easy. So your complimentary consultation has no obligation. Then you decide if you want to sign him up. John Fuller, 303-597-4500, 303-597-4500. His website is personalinjuryco.com.
from the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Few crashes to watch out for.
Here it's 12 hours per day, by the way.
It is?
Well, it's 40-hour work week, but also 12 hours per work day. But, come on.
I already did, does he know I already did Rockies?
In California, you know that because I was there too. It's 8 hours goes overtime, over 12, it's double time.
I don't even know how you guys can afford to pay taxes in California.
If we had made a decision not to go to California, that would have been much more.
Yeah.
Really?
Even your gasoline is so high for your cars you drive around. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
I could see California, if one of your students had just graduated, got in an accident, they try to come back at you. I mean, California is so screwed up.
Don't bring that up.
Well, I mean, it's such a screwed up state.
I hope your mic is not.
It's a horrible state. It's a horrible
business. It's a horrible state.
It is terrible.
It is anti-business.
It really is.
And I saw a lot of homeless in bums there, quite frankly. So it's not like this. It's not this wonderland they show.
Bend over, Disneyland.
Yeah, as Tom says, hey, bend over, it's only going to hurt for a few minutes, then after that it's Disneyland.
That's why so many businesses, especially large companies, are leaving California.
Oh, it's crazy. Texas was, a few years ago, Texas had like a bounty. They said if you bring X over from California, if you move your company from there, they give you like no taxes or whatever for a 2-year period, blah, 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 blah. They were sniping them.
I don't know how people can afford it. Especially on the coast.
Yeah, I guess
where's your
what was it?
In California, Irvine.
What's that?
How is your coast? Well, it's right.
What
it's not like they go
vehicles
or anything like that.
What does he want?
He just said he just said what was expecting.
It's on the air. It really is. I live there.
Well, ask him, is it for the radio show or for Broly person? Just ask him what it is about.
He said, are you on the show? Can I call in? I said, yes.
Okay, if he wants to give a plug, that's great. Listen, if he wants to give a plug or a great review, that's fine. If he wants to give a review, do you hear me? Does she hear me? Okay,
I'm trying to find what they can go after.
I mean, it's just it's what they do. You'll see how somebody's got to pay for it.
Who?
You'll see how it is.
No. I mean, I don't see him. I talk to him from time to time.
Would you ever pull out of there? Well, once you're kind of going, you're always going to do.
So you make money there. You don't lose.
Actually,
that guy said you were welcoming clubs on the air.
Yes, okay, yes, that's fine. Yeah, good.
Oh, okay.
She came in like he wanted to talk to him, like in private. That's all we were trying to figure out.
Oh, we're talking about two different things. Okay.
Battling addiction, and each year, hundreds die from an opioid overdose. Several $100,000 investment in there, and then you walk away from it.
Do you own the property or real estate?
Yeah. Oh, no, we can't. We couldn't afford to buy real estate.
I just thought that would have been a big plus. So you would have bought one.
Driving school couldn't afford that.
Oh, and also it reads, whichever calculation results in the greater payment of wages. So let's say you worked overtime over 12 hours a day for 2 days, but for the entire week you work 7 days and you work 60 hours. Whatever's higher is what they got to pay.
Okay, well, would you please explain this to us then? Because it's not cut and dry.
It's pretty cut and dry.
It really is a good.
But yes, of course.
Sure.
That we bet anybody.
They're not using the parking lot anyway, so
Later today at 1 on Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here.
Welcome. Mark, you just looked up the overtime rule in Colorado, and what is it then?
Well, it's basically this 40-hour work week, anything over time and a half, and then 12 hours a day. So if someone worked 13 hours, they would have to pay them time and a half on that 1 hour.
So 12 hours a day.
Yep.
If you work over 12 hours in one day,
yes,
or over
40
hours in 1 week.
Or whichever one's higher. So if you had a few days where you work maybe 13 hours, and then ultimately you worked 80 hours because you worked 7 days that week, whichever amount is higher is which the employer owes.
So even if you go under 40 hours for the week, if you work 12 hours
you would
one
get
day,
time and a half for those, well, for over 12 hours.
Right. Yeah. For anything over 12 hours. So, Don?
Yes.
So, is your name Don?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, that's it, really. That's it.
They owe you money.
They
what
owe
do
you
they
money.
say?
So,
And also, when I turned in my timesheet, she told me, I mean, it's clearly marked on there, the overtime for that particular day, and she told me that they wouldn't pay for it.
Well, they're going to pay. I mean, you can literally get triple the amount if they don't do it right. And in fact, you can hire an attorney, and they have to pay attorney's fees. So I recommend you call Sean Olson, the Olson Law Firm. He's on a referral list. Suzanne, can you get us Sean's number really quickly?
I mean,
also, you can take him to small claims court. Listen, these people are stupid. I don't know why they think...
Olson will tear him open. Not only is he going to get paid through that company, you're not going to end up paying him.
Right.
He's going to get your money, and they're going to get slapped with fines.
I don't know why they're doing this. What reason did they give you? What reason did they give you for not paying you?
Quote, we will get in trouble, end quote. And then she tampered with my timesheet because I...
So she's got a super... How big of a company is this?
They're located... It's a methadone treatment center, and they're located in multiple states. There are currently 3...
See, here's the problem. She's got a supervisor that I guarantee the people up top don't know they're supposed to control overtime. They accidentally let this lady get it. Now they're trying to cover their butts, but I guarantee they'd rather pay you than what you're about to do and call Sean Olson.
Yeah, and you should. And his number is 303-586-7297.
Do you remember if Sean told us there is some whistleblowing issues too if they tried to fire her after this? I don't remember. I thought there was.
I'll tell you what that is. 303-586-7297. Mark, if you're fired, there is no specific law about it, but it's called a slap lawsuit. And judges, there's some states have laws against them, but they carry heavy penalties. If you are sued or fired or retaliated against, SLAP, it stands for something, suits, I don't know, against public interest.
I really thought Sean said if they fire you because they didn't pay you overtime or, you know, not minimum wage or whatever, that there was something in our legislation.
I didn't know that. I actually don't know that. I didn't hear, but maybe there is. The point is that you can truly get paid. That's the bottom line. Howie, what's going on with you, Howie?
Tom, you know something? We have a mutual friend.
Who is that?
Rolly Purifoy. Is he there with you?
Oh, Howie, how are you, sir? Yes, he is here.
The sunlight's glistening off his skull right now.
Hi, Howie.
It's only because it's glistening off of mine as well.
What are you talking about? What's going on?
No, my wife just bought a car from his dealership, and this is the third car that we've bought from
oh, cool.
Rolly's place. And I'll tell you what, Bart and Charles, these guys treat us like we own the place.
Well, I am so happy that you're happy with them. We're running out of time. And Howie, thank you for calling. Howie does a great job himself with your business, and we appreciate you. So thank you. Howie has Quality First Plumbing. By the way, we're just out of time. I want to thank Master Drive. Check it out for your kids or for yourself. And then Sheridan Auto Tech and Purifoy Chevrolet. Save all your problems for me.
Hey, Colorado, if there's one thing you can all get behind, it's a great deal. And this month at Shop BMW, you can take advantage of thousands of dollars.
I got to go to that car company, but I need to talk to you.
3 Series, X1, and even luxurious X5, combined with a 4-year, 50,000-mile